Bum, bum, bum. Hey, welcome everyone to the Sketch Zone podcast.
Yep, son.
I'm Carlos Gomez.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Give me a second there, Mr. Happiness.
Eager. Someone's really eager. It's okay. It's okay.
It's cool. Hey, so I'm gonna tell you guys a very quick story.
Story time.
We're at Ground Zero, and I met this guy. And there's some people in on this planet that you just instantly click with. This dude is such a good dude. You guys are gonna fall in love with him. That, my friends, Tony Bordon.
How's it going, guys?
Hey. Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, son, it's good to see you again, my brother.
Good to see you, sir. Another hot week in Cali, so I don't know if you guys are in Cali, but yeah, can't complain. But it's one of those days for us today.
No, you can complain. It's fine. If you want to live in, the Midwest where it snows in July, that's on you. Nobody told you to keep your ass there. Charlie.
Wow.
Charlie.
Ooh.
Hate him. Just hate him. Okay.
Charlie.
Okay.
Speaking of Charlie B. Williams is here.
What's up, nation? I'm back. Had a nice little, what is it? What did we have last week? Was it July 4th? Yeah, July 4th. We was on break.
Happy birthday, USA.
Yeah, wow. And yeah, let's go.
Yeah, well. Oh, hey. Jack Casper, Zach.
I am. I'm here as well.
That's the man.
I'm gonna work on making this even more and more awkward intentionally.
It is a talent. And then you laugh. You laugh at yourself.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I got to figure out is how to not laugh at it. And just
Then it would have been fine, but then you
go full Zach Galifianakis at it, and you don't know if I'm being.
Have you guys seen what is it? The comedians in cars getting coffee?
I've seen a couple of episodes.
The one with Zach Galifianakis. it's pretty awkward. The very beginning of the show, like the entire part where he's in the getting coffee and stuff like that. The whole thing is just feels a little weird. And then at the very end, spoiler alert. At the very end, they walk into the studio and it's Jerry Seinfeld and Zach walk into the set of Between Two Ferns, and that's where he just turns it on.
He just roasts him. That's great.
I had tears rolling down my face. It was wonderful.
I like that guy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, so if you're in the chat room, let us know who you are, where you're from, and if you're not in the chat room, you can go ahead and.
What is going on with you?
That's right. Sketch Zone Hotline. 408-753-8248. That's 408-SKETCH-8. International callers, please use 011-408-753-8248.
Carlos, he's coming in with the sound every week. He's
gonna
be right on the spot.
But
you've been hesitating.
I hesitated because I'm waiting for the musical intro.
Nah, don't wait. Go.
Okay. I always have to ask permission.
Now I'm gonna miss my cue the next time.
You get in trouble.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
That's the lesson of the day.
It just flows in, and you're like, "Where's the music?" That's almost like how the segment goes out. Great. Whatever.
You see how it goes?
I see.
Anyway, so hey, welcome everyone to episode 149.
That's crazy.
149.
Wow.
149.
We have interviewed more than 149.
My new best friend Tony is here, keeping me company. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
You should have held out for one more episode. You could have been 150.
150.
I know. I was gonna say, hey, let's just go 150, but I don't know.
We'll have you back.
I'm good with 149. I'm good with 149. It's a lucky number.
My guess is cool, but he's no Tony. Just kidding, Mike. Just kidding.
Man.
He'll be like, "What the hell, dude?" Mike Essa is the coolest guy on the planet. At least that's what it said on the sign-in sheet.
That's true. The coolest guy on the planet.
He legit put out there. So we're gonna put that to the test next week. But hey, since we're here this week, let's go ahead and get into.
Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you
paint. That's right, y'all. We got a couple weeks to do since we skipped last week. So when our good friend Peter Hahn came on the show, we had Hip Fish Ballroom. So let's see what the nation did. There's Peter Hahn right there. There's Peter Hahn right there.
Peter Hahn.
That's not Peter Hahn. That's Shiloh illustration.
Hey, when are we getting Shiloh in the show, man?
That's a good question,
Good
Shiloh.
question.
When are we getting you on the show?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, Shiloh.
Yeah.
Yo,
Don't be jealous, Shiloh. We got Zigs Corner on this.
No video feed, audio only. Just throw your picture up. That's fine.
You can be a cartoon character.
He said that he'd be down for like a drawing session.
Oh yeah, he wants to do one.
So where he would have his Cintiq would be what we see, which is fine. I'm down. I just wanna pick his brain a little bit.
There you go. Keep the mystery. Keep the mystery alive.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Dustin Pike draws. Hello. All right, so this is Shiloh. Obviously, absolutely wonderful. I dig these bubbles here. The bubbles.
Some good lighting techniques happening.
This really
nice little perspective, though, too. We're above the guy. So.
That parquet floor is.
That's it.
It's pretty neat.
That's how you know it's a ballroom.
Look
at the little crabs dancing.
Oh, I didn't see them. There they are.
Down here.
That's becoming his signature. Little extra.
Dude is amazing. Dude is amazing. All right. So let's see. We have hi-oh, that's me.
Loving it.
Look at you.
When I started drawing this, I was like, if there was a fish on a ballroom in a ballroom, what would it look like? And it would legit look like this. Let's stop with the Disney stuff. Let's stop with all that cute stuff. Thank you.
Is it hip though?
Yeah, look at that.
He's got his bow tie and he's got his little fedora.
That's a good. Okay.
He was hip before he died.
Right.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Well done, sir.
Thank you, sir. We got K Castle. I think this is the guy. He also streams, and he'll also stream his when he does the fun prompts too. I'm almost.
That fish is.
And I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But anyway,
the fish is salty.
You see, he's got his lip piercing right there.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's clever.
See that?
That's called surviving death.
Right.
Whereas it's like a badge of honor.
It would have been on the side. Well, no, there's people that have it pierced right there. I'm gonna say that on the side would have been. You try to talk with a hook in your mouth. Things get difficult. This one I thought was unique.
This is nice.
Yeah, I really like that.
They flipped it.
Very clever.
Pros Heavy Comics. Yeah.
Very clever.
Fish Ballroom. I like it. Fish.
It's a good take. It's a good
pylons
take.
there. Yeah.
Good coloring too. I like
got a shooting star up there. Yeah, buddy. Got a little heroin addict on the side. That's real.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that a mermaid? Oh, that's a mermaid.
Oh, dang. It is a mermaid.
Where's the mermaid? Oh, right there.
It's a mermaid.
Maybe.
It does.
I thought it was a silhouette, but yeah, it does kind of look like it.
Huh. Wait a minute. You tricky.
Is that poop by the trash can?
Hey, Drew. Drew Friedman is in here. Oh, this is legit. Charlie, did you see this one yet?
I didn't see this one.
Watch. This is cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Next week. Oh,
Demented
Donkey Barfy.
Yo. But back up. Who bought the drone?
I got a drone.
What kind?
It's the little DJI Spark.
Oh, God.
I love it. It's so cool.
On a drone. Patrick has one too. I need one.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And I just ordered the stuff so that I can hook it into some goggles.
So you can, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I
Are you
enjoyed
doing the
this one.
Google Cardboard one, or are you doing the
I'll
goggles?
just do Google Cardboard.
Nice.
I'm not spending $300 on some goggles yet.
Hell no.
Yet.
Yeah. I want the little Maverick one, the miniature one, or I want a drone. It's my next buy.
Yeah. I've added a drone to my Amazon shopping cart and deleted it legit like 5 or 6 times.
See, but now they know you want one, so they're going to start pegging you for it.
Facebook is showing me drones. Everybody's showing me drones.
They were probably already showing it to you before you even went online. They were listening to our conversation.
Yeah, we talked about it, and also they started showing it to you.
Like, we saw your Instagram feed. So, Demented Donkey Barfing Cuba. This is Sketchbook Jack.
I saw this one over the last week. I was like, yo, this one's really...
This dude. Look at that jaw.
I based it off that like meme of that donkey that's just losing his mind. You've seen that one with the like crooked mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Yo.
Hey, I know that guy. That's not a donkey. That's a badass MF.
Wow.
Hey, that's mine.
I think he's not demented. I think he's
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I
heat
don't know about
stroked.
demented.
He just needs his teeth, man.
He's just
demented.
your teeth. He's just
Like, where are
he's
they
just
at?
heat stroke, and the sun is worried about him.
The son is like, damn, you're demented.
His,
But
He's like, did I do that?
his leg is like
He's demented. He's leaving Cuba. He's got a mojito in his hand. He barfed
like
in the
that.
sea.
I like that.
Little fish. That's a little tip of the cap to Mr. Shiloh right there.
Yeah, I like it.
He's always adding those little. Anyway, let's see who else is in here. We got Dustin Pike Draws.
That's
Yeah.
so cute. Oh wait, is he
pretty
tied
cool
up like
'cause
in a
he's
straitjacket? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's puking all over himself. I like this one. He said, I don't want to color this one.
It almost seems like
You
they
don't
just
have
like marooned him on this island. They're like, get the hell off the plane.
Right? You got to go, son. And that was that. That one was a fast one.
That was a tough one.
It was holiday.
That was.
It was a holiday, but
pretty
it was
crazy.
a tough one.
That was tough. However, no pressure, Tony. But how deep do you want to go this week?
Oh man,
Choose your categories.
I say we do adjective, character, style.
Style, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
Here we
see.
go.
You know I get nervous. You
Yep.
know I get nervous.
Yeah.
Hello, Obese in
Yes!
Charles Schulz
Charles
style.
Schulz.
That's
Charles
kind of
Schulz.
funny.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one. Wait a minute, what's an imp?
Oh, speaking of which,
It's like a goblin.
Okay,
Yeah.
that works. An imp.
what you
Okay.
do is you go to Instagram.com/sketchbookjack, and then you take a look at his
That's true.
his
If you're looking for imp, go to sketchbookjack.com and buy my imp book.
that's right. I was gonna say just look at the feed, but yeah, there's a book available.
Not fun. Buy it.
Buy it.
So buy it. We got bills to pay.
Before you do this fun prompt, buy my book.
Once you got the book, now you can do the front front.
Charles Schulz, that'll be fun.
And we have to talk to whoever wrote that, because it's actually Charles Schulz, Schulz.
Z, right.
Okay, well, you can paint it out, or Edit that HTML yourself.
Point taken. Schulz it is with a T.
That's the second time we went. Yeah, well,
Schulz.
Charlie
That
Brown.
might be the show title.
Yeah,
Charlie
well.
Brown.
Episode 149. Yeah, well.
Yeah, well. Can't get them all.
All right,
Cool.
so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a obese imp Charles
Now,
Schulz.
if you can figure out who Charles Schulz is, draw it in that style. Otherwise, draw it in Charles
Just for
Schulz.
kicks. Just for kicks.
Actually, you
Charles
can
Schulz.
edit it right there on screen. Remember? Nope.
Yeah,
It's
but
really wanting you to look him up.
Yeah.
See, there you go. You can go, bam, new screenshot.
new screenshot. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Let's go up to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
Hey,
Yeah.
I like it.
that was a fantastic little update that just happened. I believe it was yesterday, maybe this morning.
To what?
On what?
To what?
Procreate released update. It's a Procreate 4.1 now. And I had a list of all the changes that they did, but then I took the trash out. And now I don't know what they are.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna go by my my memory, which is Shiloh's here.
There he is.
There it is.
So yeah, Procreate came out with an update,
Hey,
and they made
Shiloh.
updates. They made updates to the what would you call it? Ooh, I'm blowing up. Let's go into Pimpstagram, or not Pimpstagram, but Procreate. And they made changes to the gesture controls.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if you can see the interface, the
Yeah, hold it
interface for the
hold it
gesture
up.
controls.
Hold it up straight toward you have it. A little closer.
Wow.
Now come down. Perfect. You're good.
Bam. So yeah, they made changes to the gesture control panel.
Cool.
And then there was other things that they did. Like they added, here we go. They added liquefy
Ooh.
to
Basically,
and listen, we're gonna talk about this for a hot second, but if I'm currently uploading a video to coconutjustice.com. If you go to coconutjustice.com, it'll bounce you over to my YouTube channel, where I went in this afternoon and took a deeper dive into it.
okay.
And this is really cool. This liquefy filter that they have on here. So there's different liquefy ways to liquefy, I guess. There's push, there's reconstruct, which is basically slowly undoing what you're liquefying. There's twirl clockwise, twirl counterclockwise, a pinch, and then an expand. So let me see. I have, I could probably do it to her. So check this out. I'm going to go in. I don't know if you guys can see that good, but I'm going to go to liquefy. I'm going to do a pinch, and then I'm going to tap. Look at Bert. That is so neat.
That's insane. I like it.
So hang on. What is the
watch
what's
this?
it?
Watch this. Watch this.
Just pulling everything in.
If I do reset, if I click reset, Bert, it comes right back. It's a super fancy undo.
But what's a
expand.
practical? Hang on. What's a practical
use
use for this?
It's fun. Look at
Yeah,
that
but
looks
It's
fun.
like a bulge and like.
Let's see. What would it be? The expand itself, I can see possibly, like, if you're doing say a fish in a bowl,
I'm trying to think.
and you do an expand, a liquefy expand, it'll take the fish's face and like go. Brrr.
Spherify it or like
Warp.
warp it. Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, I have no idea. But the cool thing is, like, I can come here and do like. Brrr.
Oh, it's a twist. So basically, you can.
No,
do
I
some...
get that one because you could do like the whole psychedelic or like
Yeah.
crazy abstract. So if he did it on this whole thing, I'm sure you have it like saved. Just start twisting it till it goes crazy. Does it start to feed into the other paint next to it too? Like if you held it over the
Well, these are on different layers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if I combine them all, which I don't really want to do,
do it.
But yeah, we're depending on. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah, Procreate is insane, man.
Procreate is bananas. Yeah, everything I have has like an obscene amount of layers. So yeah, there's that.
What about that smiley face emoji, right?
Oh, that's different stuff. I can't show you guys that yet.
See, I did it. I saw that. I was like, yeah, why don't you just click on that one?
No, Charles.
Give me something I can see. I can see liquefied.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna.
Oh, you know what you can do? Do the blank page and then just color a bunch of.
No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this fish.
Yeah, the fish.
I duplicated this fish, and now I just combined all the layers.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I go into
it works per layer, right?
Which one do you want to? You want to do the swirl one?
Swirl one. And just go
so
crazy.
I'm gonna swirl or twirl. I'm gonna twirl clockwise. So the area of most impact, obviously, is where your finger's gonna be.
Can you update it? Can you move it while you do this?
I mean, Photoshop has this stuff, and I just don't know how useful it is.
I mean, we have a twist and twirl in ZBrush, which is a 3D program. I totally understand that effect because it creates intricate swirls in robes or
Carlos,
like that. In 2D, I'm not really sure how that all works though.
Well, on the image he just did, right? The tail was cool. So
yeah, I mean,
if
you're trying to make something look like it's behind glass. Yeah.
Well, even the tail just looked more wavy. If you were like doing, say you were doing like you drew tentacles or something like that, and you just very slight. Is there a slider or anything to control the intensity of it?
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it a little bit easier for all of us to see.
Because I'm thinking that's kind of cool. When I saw when I saw it stretch the tail and it gave the tail really nice curvature, Jack, that could be something where you slightly touch it. You know, I mean, you probably have to turn it way down so that you can kind of control it better.
You might not want to twist.
I mean, I'm thinking about like, you know, the functionalities that Illustrator has, where you start with your straight vector line, and then it has all the ways to manipulate it, so you can quickly get French curves and waves and stuff. I guess you could sort of treat it like that, where you draw, because making parallels is easy with your shift key or your in Procreate click and hold or whatever. So I could see that being useful, where you kind of
that's pretty cool.
See, like that. It's like he's sculpting it, right? Because if he turned it way down,
there's no stretching or no pixelation or anything like that.
Before that part that he just did distorted, if he would have touched the middle part, it looked like he drew it that way, like he had that, you know.
Now check this out. I can tap on adjust. And Charlie, you were asking if there was a.
Oh, it keeps it live. Wow.
See, there it is, and there's a control there.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
Blend shapes, which is awesome. Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. So real quick, Jack, this is how I can see this being used. Let's say that this is a sketch, right? I haven't finished it yet.
That's very true. Yes.
Right.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
I'm gonna use the flip horizontal, and you see how it doesn't quite match the head isn't as bubbly as, you know what I mean. It's not So basically, actually,
yeah,
the face here looks pretty cool, but when I flip it horizontally, the proportions are just a little bit off. To me, it bothers me a little bit. And this happens when folks draw something. Pros will always give you the tip of flip it horizontally so you can get the proportions right. So when you're flipping horizontally, you can see basically that, you know, this is a right-handed drawing and this is a left-handed drawing. The left-handed drawing doesn't quite match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it horizontally. Then I'm going to come over here, get liquefy, and probably just push things in a better to make it a little more consistent.
Yeah, you can. It's like a
So it's like a 3D. You're doing it in 3D.
nudge brush. It's like
It's like a move.
That's cool. The nudging, I could definitely.
That's how.
Especially.
Otherwise,
that works.
Yeah. Otherwise, let's say you have a picture. This is what they do in Photoshop.
Trying to get your booty
all
bigger.
Of these models.
No.
Yeah. For all of these models, you come in here and you give them a little bit more.
I have actually used Procreate as a photo editing program. I've used it kind of like Photoshop. Import a photo and paint
in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have?
So anyway.
Yeah, I've used Procreate as a photo editing program. Bringing a photo and then paint on top of it, just because I like some of the painting controls.
Yeah.
I could see this being really useful for that photo manipulation.
Yeah. So yeah, there's the liquefy and there's a bunch of different liquefies. I'm gonna jump to drawing guide, right? So in here, I'm gonna create a new layer. So now if you guys are using Photoshop to do perspectives and stuff, you know that there's no real perspective tools in Photoshop. What you do is you go get a perspective tool brush or a perspective brush, you click, and then you make your lines around this perspective type of goofy stuff. The one program that I can say has excellent perspective tools is Sketchbook Pro.
Photoshop does have it. And they're fairly robust, but they're really difficult to use. Really difficult to use.
Yeah.
I call that.
So here,
huh?
Here,
I call that
what
lame.
I'm gonna do.
It's difficult. Yeah, they are difficult. I tried to use them before. It's like, what? Go ahead, Carlos.
So here, I'm gonna turn on the drawing guide.
Ooh.
And one of the things that they
isometric?
also have.
Ooh.
That they have is symmetry. So I can come in here now.
We just heard.
Ooh, let's draw.
We just heard Steve Tolkowski just scream.
Yeah, Steve was actually on Twitter talking about, oh my God, this is fantastic. Photoshop, blah, 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 whatever it was that he was saying. It was,
Steve,
pretty cool.
passionate.
We gotta pull Steve back on. What is he doing now? I feel like he's just like there for every update for every program.
Yeah.
He instantly made art. Look at that.
This is really cool.
It's a dream catcher. But now check this.
Can you draw in a circle there?
Snowflake.
To finish your circle and stuff? It's kind of cool. So it's like
this?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, see, that's kind of...
Okay. So it's like...
That stuff is cool.
Sketchbook Pro.
Yeah, it's psychedelic. You could just get high and start drawing on this thing.
So now check this out. I'm going to go back into drawing. I'm going to go into perspective. And this whole assisted drawing thing is brand new. So I turn it on. I'm going to hit done.
Update? This is crazy.
Yeah. So here I'm going to clear that. Edit. I'm going to click there. So that's my vanishing point, right?
Ooh, rising sun. Yeah.
Assisted drawing is turned on.
Ooh.
Is that like lazy mouse?
So now watch this. If I click, it holds the line.
Ooh.
I don't have to click and hold in Procreate anymore. I can just just come in here and
Anything
super fast.
Is it going straight to the perspective lines though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The hotkey can turn it on and off.
That's what's cool. Like if I go into this layer, you see where it says layer 2, and under it says assisted.
Yeah.
What I can do is create another layer that's unassisted, so I can draw whatever I want right there.
Yeah.
But then if I wanted to go back to assisted, now I can do that.
Yeah, this would be.
And it's neat because if you draw in an angle, it locks that line to go into the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If I go straight across, it locks it going horizontally, straight up and down, it locks it vertically. Now, what's cool is they still have that brush tip thing that it was. So if I draw a line, and I hold the pen down, now I can adjust that line everywhere I want.
Very cool.
And another thing that's really neat is you see those 3 blue dots that are on that line. Oops, I shouldn't have probably touched
Or
that.
become a curve. You can curve it.
No, not curve it, but I can lay it down, and now I can click that. Gosh darn it.
So you know where the middle is?
So the middle is down here.
No,
But if I click and hold,
yeah,
now what I can do is I can click on the little blue line and move it.
right.
Move that, just that end.
Wow.
Or I can click and move just that end. Or if I click the middle, now I can pick up the line and move it all around.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
So that's really cool stuff. Anyway.
It's like a vector engine. No, that's weird.
Yeah.
We should talk about that other. Any other new updates? Any other big updates with that? Or was that good?
Pretty much. There was 5 things. There was the what you call it? The gesture controls was 1.
Mm-hmm.
The liquefy filter was 2.
Okay.
The drawing guide was 3.
Cool.
Or the perspective drawing guide is 3.
Mm-hmm.
The symmetry tool was 4.
Okay.
And there's something else. There was 5 big things that I can't remember the 5th thing right now.
Okay.
But I can definitely find out.
So this would be a good time, Jack, Carlos, to tell the nation about that other new program we found out about this week in our chats.
Ooh, what's the new program?
So there's liquefied, there's warp. That's what it was. Warp. Let's go back.
Wait a minute, did you show the warp? You didn't show the warp.
Nope, I did not.
Now is that fisheye and things? If I'm thinking what it's gonna do?
So like puppet warp?
Yeah.
Let's go back to this guy.
Let's see if that's what happens.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this. I'm gonna grab my arrow tool. I go to warp here. Now I'm able to click and move things like that.
It is.
That's very useful.
Really? It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Photoshop has
and
that.
I can do like this.
Yeah,
look at what it's doing.
See, now that's cool. Photoshop does not do that.
The backside of it.
Yeah, the backside. That's super cool.
That's a good finishing one. If you copied, like if you had another drawing that you specifically was doing something, I don't know. I can see. And then you just copy the layer, and at the end, you like peel it back to reveal the other drawing underneath.
That's really cool.
And this is what's cool too. If you click on that node or that point, you see how this is on top. It looks like it. No, it's actually on bottom probably. But if I wanted to, I can click on this and say move to back.
See, this is crazy. It's almost like 3D, but not.
Right. It's like drawing on film.
It's like 2.5D or something.
Can you zoom in? I've been okay. Now make a rose.
Origami.
Do it. This dude He's like, let's do Procreate has a new
So,
origami.
Build me a
Once
robot.
it's deformed, does it keep track of it like the other one does?
Like this?
Like
No,
you
it
apply it or
doesn't look
whatever,
like it.
and it's good to go. Wait,
What happened?
where'd it go?
Because what I did was I hit reset, thinking that it was
No,
gonna
it's just so, like-
animate.
Yeah.
No, but like if you start going to something else, like you apply it or you go paint, you pick up the paintbrush or whatever, you're gonna go
Okay.
continue to work. And now if you go back to distort it or warp it, does it?
Oh,
retain
I guess
that
can we
info?
still paint on that?
No, it flattens
Okay.
it.
No, it
It
flattens
does
it.
flat. Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
So this is when this tool is super helpful when you're drawing something and you hate it. You remember when you used to crumble up a piece of paper and throw it away? That's
I do.
basically what this is.
I
There you
do.
go.
This is
There you
the
Proverbial.
throwaway.
Yeah.
No, but what this is really help. If any of you guys like watch Aaron Blaze's tutorial, he uses the shit out of the warp tool. So like basically one of the easiest things is if you do like a texture pattern, like elephant skin, or you do like hatch marks, and then you want to make it kind of feel like it wraps around a volume, like a big belly or like a leg. You just kind of warp it a little bit, and then it gives it this like instant sense of volume.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Procreate shout out.
Good job.
Holla holla.
Good job, Procreate.
Yeah. Very, very, very cool. And like I said, well, there's 17 minutes left on the Procreate 4.1 updates video that I'm posting to YouTube as we speak.
Oh, you went through them already, huh?
I did. I went and I spent, it's about an hour long. I did it on Twitch. I had a couple people there watching.
Awesome.
And yeah,
Gesture.
it was,
Is that an
it was
app?
legit. Procreate?
Figure and gesture.
Figure and gesture.
I'm looking at your iPad.
Butterfly.
Oh,
The butterfly.
Oh, you
let me
asked.
see.
Okay.
Oh, you know what that is? That's a website that's forbidden.
Oh, it's Pixel Lovely. Never mind.
Yeah. I can delete that now. But that was basically, it was basically like a art class. Oh, hey, look. Hang on. What now? Come on, dude. There we go. 8030creative.com. And I want to show you guys what? Who is that lovely beast?
Handsome dude. Whoa.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. He looks familiar.
That man takes a good
Oh, that
picture.
guy.
Yes, so if you're in the OC or LA area, next week, Thursday at this time, you can come and see me speak live along with a couple other people. And if you're not, you better be listening to the Sketch Zone podcast.
There it is.
You better.
There you go.
This is good.
Yeah.
Or just
What will you be talking about, Jack?
So it's like a creative convention, just getting folks together. It's a mix of students and professionals. And there's 4 speakers, and we're kind of all, a little bit of basic kind of how we got started, how we survived in the industry, how we're succeeding in the industry. And then we all are going to kind of branch off on our own little take on it. Just kind of an off topic, not off topic. It'll still obviously be related to the industry, but kind of each put our own little spin on it. And then there's like a little mixer afterwards and a question, open QA type of thing, and it'll be good fun.
Yeah, those are great. I love doing those things. Glad you get to do them. Carlos, you're next.
Hey, look who's in the chat room.
Hi,
Dave. Dave, it's been a while, Dave. Been a while. Just keeping it real. Oh, yo, so
look at hi chat zone. You see how Dave just starts creating his own stuff?
Yeah.
Chat zone.
Chat zone. We could highlight that new program while we're talking about artists.
Sure.
Did you guys ever get to go back and look at it? So do I need to talk about it?
No, not yet.
You did?
I haven't downloaded it, but I looked into it a little further. It looks pretty nice.
Let's bring it up. So, new program for all you 2D guys. If you're looking to, you know who would love this program? Critterosity. Doesn't she do watercolor?
Yeah, she does.
We gotta show her. You gotta check that out. Okay, here. So I'm going to put this in a different tab. I already have it in a different tab. Share my screen.
We were talking 2 weeks ago. We were talking about Painter. So
yeah, I saw update the Painter, and I think because we talk about Painter on the side of ArtStation, there was a Painter advertisement. But then when I refreshed the page, there was this advertisement. So it was like competing for space. Never heard of the company before. Never heard the program. There's another off program they do that kind of creates like digital like fractals and stuff like that. So they had a couple of different ones called like Flame Painter, Amber Light. So if I click on these guys here, it kind of does those things, which was kind of crazy. Like
Rebel 3.
Yeah, so it's Rebel 3 is the one we're talking about. But it was like, so you've seen, I don't know if you guys, those of you use Photoshop, you see this, the hot blue background behind the owl. Mm-hmm. Like, I think before they were doing a lot of these crazy, like you could make, digital, like splined, cool stuff, which I was like, yeah, whatever. Not really, or the like fractal type stuff. I'm like, whatever. But I saw this Rebel, and this is the third version. This is their flagship painting software. Make this a little bigger so we can see it. This is their flagship painting software called Rebel 3. It's very similar to if you were on the listening to the show, I believe it was last week. We were talking about Painter, and we're just talking about how one of the cool things that Painter did early on, we're talking about 6, 7, 8 years ago, or 10 years ago or more, was the use of being able to mix paint and live, and it made it feel like you're using real colors, and you're able to like dry the canvas and do all these things. Well, this Rebel 3 like specializes in the same type of paint engine, but the results are pretty good, where it's not just, you could do watercolors, you can do acrylics or whatever. You have, if you look at here, you actually have a bunch of different media. So like if Carlos wanted to just dabble in with the airbrush, there's an airbrush tool in there that does that, so you can paint all your stuff like airbrush. So like past artists like Diego can come on, and he could like get the same feeling he gets when he does all his airbrushing. Or if Jack, who the black and white master, wants to just use pen, there's pens, and then you can like control the canvas in terms of how fast the ink dries and all that other good stuff. There's obviously watercolor, there's acrylic on here, there's a regular brush, and you could tilt the canvas, right? So if you see up here in the right hand corner of the screen of this image, they have a tilt function. So as you're painting, you can tilt the canvas virtually, and that will stop the bleed of the paint. So
it's got like a gravity function built in.
Right. So like some people, if you wanted to like streak out and stuff like that, you can do that, or you can tilt it. And then they have a system inside of it where basically you can like stop and slow down. So they also have a pause button, if you will, where you can pause the whole water, system in there and keep painting, and then turn it back on, so you have full control over how the water reacts to the canvas and stuff like that, So it's here's this here. The site's pretty good. So self-explanatory: watercolor, acrylic, pastels, pencil, ink, marker, and an airbrush.
Wow.
Realistic brushes, layer tools, intuitive interfaces, all the file structures, all there. Obviously, everybody's making bank because everybody's got layered PSD support for all you Photoshop people, PNGs, JPEG, TIFF. They're like, hey, we like Photoshop too over here, but come use our program. Not bad in terms of price, $89, $90. It's like $100 program, but I mean, it seems like it's very, very worth it. 30-day refund policy too, which is crazy for artists. You know, some people are gonna take advantage of that too.
A refund on any software.
Yeah, right. It's crazy, right? But you can see like and what I've seen from their we have an ongoing chat we do on Facebook. But I was really impressed with one other artist. It's not the Sketch Zones page. Whoops, wrong one. Let's go back. We want to have some Inception. It's the actual artist spotlight on their YouTube page, which was really cool too. Because this young lady started using it. There's a black and white Jack that I thought of you when I saw that stuff too. And you know, I have to look around and see what artists are actually using it and stuff like that. And you know, the crazy part about it was I found a lot of different artists. You know, I spent about an hour and a half or so just looking around, and the styles were varied. So I, you know, because in my head I'm like, okay, cool, this is a one trick pony type of deal. It's a cool program, but it's probably got people's stuff gonna look, you know, the same. And some people were like combining things, right? So they would start off with watercolor, then they would move to airbrush, and they would get that really tight. I think Peter Han, we talked about it last week with like Yukai Tim and a couple other like, you know, Korean artists and stuff like that that we both like, where you get that really tight, like really cool looking cell mix art type of work with painting. You know, when people just kind of go in with the shading and it almost looks like it's popping off the screen because they've added so many layers of like shadow and depth to their paintings. Or you can go that fully traditional where they think it looks like it was done with an ink pen, or the watercolors looked amazing also. So it's a really cool program. I would say check it out, guys. You know me, I'm always a proponent of finding new things and stuff like that, you know, but like it's really, really good. And like on their YouTube page, they actually did a really good job of like having artists go through the whole thing here, you know, and show all the different types of versions and what they can do. And then at the end, she kind of goes in and shows up her process. So you can see how cool the watercolor is looking, how she's building up the values and stuff like that. And like, it's really cool. I thought it was interesting, caught my eye. And I thought I'm always fascinated with that stuff. And it's funny that like we had just talked about this last week with like mixing of paints and stuff like that. And it's all done live, and it seemed like it runs really good. I didn't see any lag and stuff when she was doing it. And that whole tilt function and like pausing and starting up the water engine was like really intuitive too for what I see. So check it out. I think you can do a trial. You don't have to buy it to try it. So check it out. But I thought
how
it was a cool
crazy that looks. It looks like a real watercolor. I love it.
Yeah, she was saying some of her friends couldn't tell the difference when she was showing her the final pieces, and they have a bunch of different people. Like there was another one where it's like this like fashion designer type person,
right.
that they had do her style, and her style is always more of like the pencil and the cross hatching and stuff like that. But then she uses whites to accent like certain parts of like the features of the face, but then she doesn't draw the whole
face,
the whole thing. She kind of keeps it like really minimalistic, and then she went in and was like using it just to do the hair, but then went back over it.
Some watercolor in there.
And so she lets it run, so she doesn't care if it gets into the nice. Drawing and stuff like that. That's and cool. She's kind of messy with it, but like it's kind of cool, and it was kind of cool to watch her like streak over top of this, where it was just a big huge wash at first, where it was right here.
That's really cool.
Right, I'm telling you. So here, so this will show it. Let's see, she changed her water size and all that good stuff. And go ahead, show it. Come on, boom,
do it.
So you can see. And then she's changing the size of the brush dynamic on the fly, obviously, with a hotkey. And they were saying that the hotkeys are really nice for it too. So there's hotkeys and stuff like that, so you can get used to that way. And you can see how she just builds it up. But she's like, I think she's pausing the water on hers, so she's not letting it streak yet. You see, because she's keeping it real tight, and then she turns it on and lets it start to run and stuff like that.
That's actually pretty cool.
So it's really cool that way. On that thing, on that end. So I thought that was really, really kind of cool. So you can really go in there like and have the control, which I think was a misconception sometimes when people were trying to use Painter. I didn't understand it back in the day, but I was really impressed with the program, you know. And I forgot that she starts out so light and then she changes her color, and then when it starts to mixing, it's just like super cool, you know, with all that. So like it, check it out, guys.
Wow, thanks for the share. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Where escape motions? Escapemotions.com. We'll put a link in the show notes because I want to follow up with that too.
Cool, no problem. Yeah, I throw the link in the thing for you guys. Or it's still in the other chat too. So to the Rebel 3.
Got it.
Rebel.
Sounds very French.
A French rebel.
Is he rebel? We rebel against Photoshop.
So that might be it. Is that something? So Tony, when I'm stalking you on Instagram, you're almost like 50-50 3D 2D.
Correct. I started off with 2D first, and then I fell in love with the 3D once I started to learn how to use the interface and using the particular program called Maya. Then I started to realize that you could integrate 3D with 2D, and that's what I'm at right now. I'm just trying to integrate those two together, put in a pipeline. Hopefully I can create something really nice for all you guys to like. So yeah.
Something tells me that's not going to be a problem.
I hear you say you fell in love with Maya's interface.
I fell in love with Maya because of the learning the interface.
Thank you. I was
Sorry. My bad.
It's okay. You can fall in love with it. I just would be really surprised.
Yeah, no one falls in love with the interface.
No way. No, it's the thing is, some people's misconception with some 3D programs is that they think it's all math. It's all about measuring something here and there. But to be honest, once you learn any program's interface, any program's shortcuts and what they can do,
right,
the sky's the limit when it comes to creativity. So really, people really need to open up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not a one-trick pony. Love to learn. That's how artists are supposed to be, is constantly learning things every single time, new things every time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Did you go to art school, or are you self-taught?
I did take art. I started off as a graphic designer first, so I went to school as a graphic designer, and as soon as I realized that graphic design wasn't really as challenging for me, then I realized Photoshop you could do more than just manipulate photos.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. Now we can paint. Oh, you can do this. So that's where concept design started. But I didn't go to art school. I went to my community college here in Fullerton, here in OC. Great program. And basically, it's all about the teachers and the classes you're taking. And the classes really are all foundation classes. So for me, I'm in the process of still trying to figure out what needs to be done. But I'm enjoying every minute of it. So it's the process that's to me is exciting. Learning and figuring out, man, I never known I could do this.
Oh, did we lose him?
Hello?
Oh, there we go. You're back. You froze for a hot second.
Damn connection.
Strikes again.
Yeah. So that's cool. Were you always interested in being an artist and concept and stuff?
I've always wanted to create stuff. To be honest, I've never really thought of being it as a profession or a career because I always thought it was a hobby. I'm an 80s kid, so the Robotech, Transformers, those things were really got me going. You know what I'm talking about, right, guys?
Oh yeah, dude.
Best times are the 80s cartoons. Those were the ones where you say yes. I don't know about nowadays, but these cartoons made my passion for looking at other things than the reality of the world and say, hey, we can make this world much better with cool things like this. You know, so it's because of that made me get into art. But I never started off with art. I've always gone to the stick to the safe path until I realized, you know what, there's more things to do. So I'm a late bloomer, Carlos, guys, in this game. So, but I'm enjoying every minute.
You and me both, kid. Don't even worry about that. You got plenty of time.
Oh, absolutely. I'm meeting so many cool people in this day and age of ours with social media and how social media plays in getting people together like today, like you guys. I've never thought I would ever be going to be part of this little crew of you guys, and it's awesome. Thank you very much for it. And yeah, it's a great thing to have people like-minded people around you, surrounding you, doing the same thing. So
nice. Yeah, it makes a difference. And I like how our community, the art community, is getting away from the selfish mentality where, oh, I learned how to do this thing, and whether it's Photoshop or even Rebel over here, and everyone is starting to realize that it doesn't have to be that hard. If we approach this art thing as a community,
right,
we can all make money doing this art thing.
Sure,
Right.
absolutely,
Sure.
absolutely.
So you said oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, good.
Because you said you've always taken the safe route, and you didn't really. So what were you doing before you got into art? And then what kind of made you realize, like, oh, I can do this?
Well, I mean, I graduated from college not with anything art related. So because I was my family was very strict in making sure that everybody in the family finish something or make something of themselves. Art was really not an option or a discussion in the table. You know, not until later on that I ventured off and say, you know what, I think I like to do things that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the safe route, it took me a little bit farther than what I thought it would be. So basically, I started off life as, you know, as someone who just working 9 to 5 and everything like that. And I still do. I still have a job, and which I think to me is such as a reality, because we're all still struggling being an artist. And for me, it's not fun and games most of the time, you know. So definitely needs to have some backup. And that's the thing that I've learned in my experience. As of right now, backup is very important. So you definitely need to have something on the side to support what you love to do.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? We all can be struggling artists, so to speak. But I think being a struggling artist is just something to say, you know what, we can do more than being an artist right now. Let's figure something out. Be, you know, have a job or something. Bills, we still have to pay bills. That's the reality of it. My gosh, we still have to pay the bills, and we can just do as much as I can. I think Jack's been a successful in the business, so I'm really interested in how everybody gets to the point, and everybody gets to a point in their lives where everybody's doing the same thing, different things, from not pursuing art or just pursuing what they need to do. So it's one of those things where I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to pursue what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, so to speak.
Nice.
And meet people like you guys. This is awesome. So yeah, absolutely.
And to put it into somewhat perspective, you know how hard it is to have a license to Photoshop and you don't have a job? When you have to, you know how hard it is to design something when you don't have Photoshop?
Yeah.
So yeah, like you don't necessarily have to struggle. You keep working towards whatever it is that you're trying to get to.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's a very honorable approach.
It is. And cool thing is that maybe like a week ago, I was at a Blizzard tour here in Irvine, and very first time. I've never been to one. I've never been to Blizzard before, and kind of realized that you don't have to be really a good artist to be, working in an industry. You just have to really be a smart artist, methodically. You know what I mean? I think you know what I'm talking about, right, Carlos? Is just got to be really, really attentive with what you're doing, from drawing a story, making a story. So, excuse me. So creating something in content that makes sense. That's basically what the whole point about it is. You don't have to be a good illustrator. You just have to really relay the story, so to speak. But
yeah, and I'll let any one of these other guys chime in on this too. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of people that are very easy to work with that get, or that are connected even, that get in the door. And if you're a super talented person that's just doesn't make themselves visible, people don't know what you want until you tell them, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. It's like half of it is knowing knowing the process for yourself, the pipeline, like you said, you took a tour, and being efficient and having discipline in terms of like, being good, but having discipline in terms of like knowing how to organize your work, knowing how to communicate very, very well, knowing how to knowing when to take great critique, knowing when to shut up and listen to people in order to get better. Because like in anything, when you're looking to get a new job or you get a job in industry, people are looking for that you have the potential to grow, into the position and like moving forward and not being stagnant, right? And
absolutely.
Not being so set in your ways that like you're either not necessarily just hard to work with, but you just don't grow. That's the biggest thing. And you said it earlier in terms of like being an artist that learns new things, and that's the really big thing I harp at my studio is like everybody needs to keep being willing to learn and like teach themselves and keep going so that like you can be better equipped to create a problem solve, because that's basically what you are, create a problem solve in some kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was it? There's a book that I highly recommend. It's called The Last Speech or The Last Sermon, something like that.
Oh, who wrote it?
So basically,
who wrote it?
I'll find it right now.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
But it's basically this guy that talked about when he was a kid, he wanted to work at Disney. But he wasn't ever really good at art. He was a better engineer. And the moral of the story is have focus to what you want to do and what you want to be, but have the flexibility to accomplish your dreams in a different way, if that makes sense.
Oh, I got you.
I get it.
Yeah.
Right? So he was a better engineer than he was an artist. So he wanted to work for Disney because he loved Disney movies, but his art was never good enough to be an animator, but he ended up being an Imagineer.
Correct.
So he ended up working for Disney, but in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really valid point. I think you've got to focus on not just what you're good at, but like what's actually viable for you. I think it's easy for people to get caught up and be like, oh, I want to work at Pixar and I want to be the next best character designer. I want to be, and it's the reality is most folks aren't cut out for that. And I think you need to. It's not saying to not try, but also be realistic about what your skill sets actually are.
Right.
And one thing that comes to mind, especially in film and TV production, is that there's an entire branch of the industry that's needed is the production side of it. People who are coordinators and producers and writers and all these other factions of it that aren't necessarily visual arts, but are super closely entwined and still creative. And some folks are just better at the organizing part, and you can still be incredibly involved and have a huge impact if your art skills aren't quite up to par, and still be surrounded by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And you might still be part of the animation team. You might be a really good storyteller.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I tell people the story all the time is like, back when I was trying to get on in the industry, I spent 2.5 years, 3 years or so outside after college, working at the big huge mall, which is the Woodfield Mall here in Illinois, one of the second largest one in the country. And I just did store managing stuff. And I worked for the Abercrombie Corporation in Hollister specifically. And that store, since it was so big at these malls, that we would have 8 or 9, 10 different managers in different departments. And when I finally walked out of there and left, bless you. When I finally walked out of there and left, I got my job at EA, and then 6 months later or so, they were looking for a production coordinator for one of the other new games that are coming out. They needed more help because we were getting really big. And I instantly thought of a young lady that I used to work with at the mall, and she basically built her career because kind of what Abercrombie and Hollister did is they would take the college students that were had degrees, because you had to have a degree to work there, but they would take the fresh ones right out of school, right? They would recruit them because obviously they're already wearing their clothing and their branding, and they would recruit them to come work. So you would have these managers at all these different hollers, from Huntington Beach all the way out here to Chicago to New York City, of these young, it's really smart business move, young, really eager, hardworking 20-somethings that all had degrees in different walks of life, right? So one guy on our group was a mathematician, one guy had a political science degree, I had an art degree, someone else had history, someone else had just business management and stuff like that. But they're all fresh from college, right? All fresh from college. So, and then what would happen is they would learn the ropes, work their way up, deal with crazy customers. And then technically, some of them wanted to work in retail, so they become visual managers, become other ones. And other ones would visually work their way to get to what we call home office, right? They have a crazy home office in Ohio, almost very Apple-like. If you know, everybody's on Segways and crazy stuff. But then what would happen is they would then push them back into their different degrees, right? So it's almost like they were building up their corporate section, but they made all these kids kind of work their butt off, and learn from a grassroots type of situation of the meaning of hard work. Because if you ever worked in retail, it's not fun. It's very character building based, right? So there was this girl named Amy, and she had kind of made her niche at different stores of being what's called a operations manager. So that's the person in retail stores that basically run the business from behind the scenes, scheduling and management of high schoolers and all the different packaging and shipments. And I'm talking about shipments of 800 pieces of clothes a day, just all the logistics type of work, counting down the registers, money, spreadsheet type of stuff. But she was very organized. And I was so I called her up. She ended up working for another company, H&M, called her up at her job, listened to her yell at some high school student about not coming to work on time. And I said, Amy, I have the perfect job for you. Right? You should come work with me here at EA.
High school counselor.
No, she was now she was calling this girl all type of names at the time, but she's like, yeah, because I'm really getting tired of working in retail. So what is this other job? And I told her I work at EA. She's like, cool, I'll send you my resume tonight. So long story short, sent it in, gave it to producers and stuff at work, and she interviewed and got the job.
Wow.
And she was amazing at it, right?
Wow.
Because she had all these skills. Never thought she'd work in the video game industry or entertainment industry in general. Dude, she went on, left Chicago, went to corporate for EA down in up in Canada, worked at a couple studios in Canada, met her husband up there, left EA, went back to EA, now is like an executive producer. She basically runs one of the studios up in Canada. Like she's like a bigwig, now up there in the corporate chain, right? Where like you get so high after being producers and project managers, and now like you start to be heads over certain wings of EA and stuff like that. So like she's like a executive producer at one of the big studios up there.
Wow.
On one of the big games, one of like the big ones that are coming out this year, and she's been there for years now. But like no one knew she was gonna go on that. She's not a gamer. She's not someone that was into games at all.
She didn't expect to be there. That's awesome.
Right. But look, because she had those like skills, plus she had to pay the bills, right?
That's right.
A job.
That's right.
She ended up being good at something else, and then she ended up getting into somewhat of a creative job, and those are the ones that get to go to all the cool stuff. Like if we're working on a sports campaign, she's the one that gets to go to Nike and handle all the original Jordans and take pictures and do crazy stuff, like and get the swag. It's cool. So shout out to Amy Lyman. She's awesome.
All right, Amy.
Still trying to get her on the show. She's so busy now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so like Tony, let's talk about your addiction to robots. What is this? What is this all about, dude?
I know. It's robots, man. Robots. I love robots. What can I say? Love those little guys.
Do you follow DaCosta on Instagram at all?
I do. The funny thing about DaCosta, I've never met the fellow, but I seem like a nice guy. I've seen him a couple times in posts and pictures. Pretty big guy. He's a big guy in life, but because of him and his challenge, that got me going with his March of Robots. That got me going with my social media presence and my will to go back into sketching, get into the sketching part. And because of that challenge, and just to make sure everybody understands that taking these challenges is a godsend for people who would like to really push their limit, because it gives you that ability to think about something and draw something every day. And that what really got me going with all this social media, and because of that, Carlos found me and didn't know how that goes. But yeah, because of DaCosta's brilliant March of Robots challenge, that got me going. And this is the
that's cool.
Yeah, because of him, that got me going with these March of Robots little tiny despots. And that's what I'm trying to do right now is creating this, and hopefully we can get to the 3D printing stage soon.
That's cool. Yeah, because I remember when I started seeing your stuff, especially the 3D stuff, I was like, man, this dude is like DaCosta, but in 3D. And I know DaCosta wanted, I know he's playing around in 3D. He's getting more serious about it now, but
he is.
I can totally see the influence, and he's a very good influence to have. We talk every once in a while, and he's always working. His style is exactly this. Everything is so precise and so clean and so
a lot of curves.
Yeah.
A lot of smooth curved surfaces.
Are you a fan of all the vinyl toys and stuff?
Yes, I am. I am. Wish I had a collection of them, but it's
expensive. but we can admire them from afar for sure. Yeah.
I've been to Designer Con twice, and I've seen, I forgot the guy's name, but he is always there, and he has this huge vinyl collection of Kiss toys and memorabilias and aliens and predators. It's just one of those things where he even has it insured, so it's once you have one, it's a keeper. Especially the authentic ones.
That'd be really bad for me to go to the Designer because I'd be like, come back with like 6 toys. So why'd you spend $3,000? With only 6 toys, but these are really good ones though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I want to get into the toy business, guys. It's I think that's something where a lot of people are not talking about, especially as artists and creative people. The toy business is something. The toy business is something that we really. It's one of those gold pots. It's once you hit gold on that, it's just one of those things where it just keeps on going and people will love it and keep on going. And I think not because Toys R Us is gone. A lot of people are joking that they got to make our own toys now. Good Lord.
You know what kind of a messed up world we live in when Toys R Us is gone?
Yo, you can thank Amazon for that one.
And that's what we said about Blockbuster. What's going on now?
You gotta change
with
the times.
Kind of like Netflix, so now. I did have fond memories of like hounding my parents to, yo, it's Friday. Let's not go home first. Let's go straight to Blockbuster because I didn't get the first pick of the video games that I want to rent. Or they get all picked over, you know. I like Blockbuster.
So is that long-term goals for you? Is making toys? Is that where
that's
your focus is?
One of the options that while I'm still trying to break in to the industry or maybe start working with other collaborative artists in any movies, toys, movies or animation. Toys is something where I really have a little bit of a curiosity to. So making my own, creating something from scratch and making something, and then having especially a great feedback from so many people that they love the things that I've been creating. That gives me more passion to really move forward and do more of a ornamental toys or those designer toys route. So it's
so let's I pulled you up on Instagram. There's a couple people that kind of like what you're doing, and by a couple I mean even 500 people.
That's crazy. I'm still surprised that many people are following. I'm not sure how many fake accounts are in there, but there's so many people. Fine. When I first started this, I never thought that many people would either follow or be even interested in what I'm doing. And it's one of those things where it gets me going to every day, where I got to keep going what I'm doing. I got to get better. I got to create more creative stuff, more things, but people would love to see. And because of these guys, it's 14.5 followers. And that's the only social media I have besides Facebook is Instagram. And because of Instagram, that kept me going for learning new stuff and meeting new people like Shiloh and and people like Patrick Ballesteros. These guys are awesome. The line work is amazing.
Did you ever meet DaCosta, or did
no,
you just see
never.
him? No,
one of these days I will. One of these days
I will. Yeah, we will. I was just talking to him last week, and we were talking about going to CTN because it's weird. He's believe it or not, he's a pretty good friend of mine. We've never met face to face.
Oh,
we used to talk almost every day. We would bitch and complain every day. I've never met him face to face.
One of these days I will. One of these days I will.
Yeah.
He's one of my heroes.
We're gonna make that happen because if it's at CTN, I got you.
Oh,
and I've already been threatening him with my friendship. So,
are you going to be in CTN this year?
We're not gonna have a booth, but I definitely want to go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Kind of like what we were talking about before the show started. Ground Zero was a perfect relationship for us because
what we're looking at these are very old models. 4 or 5 years ago. Very first time that I've really got into the hard surface modeling, especially with props. On this project what we're looking at right now, they wanted to make it look like it's a haunted mansion. So start off with a base mesh. Everything's all straightened. Everything's straight. Now we start to make it look like it's all crooked and all dilapidated. So that was the challenging part because that was one of my very first time creating a 3D model and putting a story into it. So that was a very one of the most challenging things that I've done is doing that particular thing is having something from scratch and just creating something that screams scary or ominous.
So we're gonna build up to something real quick. Hey, Pat Mast, welcome, Rookie Tunes. Good to see you guys. Also, so this is a project that you created for yourself?
Oh, it was a no. It started off as a class project, basically.
Okay.
It's one of those, yeah.
Okay.
But these are one of the first models I've done in 3D for Maya.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah,
that makes sense. I know a hard surface modeler that gets off on stuff like this, and I was waiting for him to give a little bit of a critique.
Oh,
is he still awake?
I'm always awake. I'm sitting here modeling now. I'm always awake.
What do you think,
Charlie? You're a 3D modeler too, Charlie?
Yeah. So my
sweet.
My specialty is environment design and hard surface.
Oh, beautiful, man. That's cool.
Among other things, but yeah. But you said this one was older work though, right?
Yeah, it's like 2015.
Yeah,
12.
so I won't critique your old work. This is old.
Okay.
Work.
Yeah, we're gonna go like that.
All the new ones though, I like all the. I was on your art station.
Thank you.
At the beginning of the show, and like all the hard surface work with all the minimalistic design in terms of the robots are really, really cool. So that shows off your modeling. So modeling ability a lot better.
So well done.
Thank you.
When you because these have like a pretty solid mechanical.
Yeah.
I mean, at least to the viewer, it seems functional. Whether or not it actually is, it doesn't really matter. But
right.
I mean, if you're going to 3D print, sure. But when you sit down and do one of these, do you have a sketch, or you go straight to modeling and then kind of how do you piece it together? Because I think that's a skill like I don't have. I don't have the like mechanical put together bits in my head. But
and on his art station, he has some like technical looking concept stuff too with that too.
For these particular guys, it's all about kit bashing. Basically, if you notice, several pieces there are already pre-made. So when I start off a something like that, especially for the robots, I've always started off with a sketch first. I've never done any modeling from currently that I don't do sketches. So I sketch them first and then I block them out later on.
Okay, so you do.
Yeah, I do. So for example, for like this, I'm currently working on this as a 3D model. So I'm pushing this and trying to make it into a 3D model from this perspective. So using this as a reference, I can confidently say that I can create a 3D model from that. So I'm trying to practice. Totally. I'm trying to practice that that scene where if let's say Charlie will give me hey, here's a sketch, man. Try to make a 3D model out of it. So for me, it's just about efficiency and really trying to solve the problem. How do I model this without looking at any other angles, so to speak?
Yeah. So are you always drawing this in 3/4 view then?
I've always drawn it in 3/4 view. If about so 3/4 views were my fear before when I used to draw. It's always been sideways, backwards, or frontwards, or whatever. But quarter views, since I've learned how perspective works, but quarter views are pretty much my go-to view, especially when I render it from 2D to 3D. Yeah. Because with this view, I can see the left side, which reflects the right side as well. So, as in 3D modeling, as some people would know, you only model one side of the object and then duplicate on the other side.
So over the years, how have you dealt with getting past the block out stage and doing detailed? Because a lot of times when you learn how to model, especially for hard surface guys, they can model a reference if they have a front and a side view, because then obviously through symmetry and stuff like that, you can get the whole rounded shape. But how have you dealt with detailing it, because you can get so far on a model, right? You can block out the basic form, and then most people have trouble pushing it past that point to get the details and stuff like that, or the details they try to put on it just superficial. They don't quite work. Some of the models you have on it, like the red robot that you have and a couple of other ones, they start to feel a little bit more intricate, but has a lot of good weight to them.
Correct.
You know, here where they feel like that red one is probably one of my favorite ones, and even the ones with the little, yeah, I think so. Yeah, this like these here, you know, these are really good because I feel like it has a really good weight to it, and it feels pretty sturdy. And at the same time, it has a lot of detail in it. But since we know you're going for toys, that works out pretty good in the 3D printing stuff. But how have you dealt with getting that extra detail and getting out of the blockout state? Because sometimes it can, you know, be kind of hard to get it look good.
You're absolutely right. When it comes to the details for me, I ask myself, is this needed? Does this really apply to this corner or this area or this angle? So one artist told me is that when you apply details into your objects, and you have to see the balance of it, so to speak, and like I think that's what Charlie was talking about. Is
look at me brag. Look at me brag. Look at me brag. Yeah, buddy.
So it's basically feeling the weight. So for me, when I'm putting details, it's all about if this is too much here or this. Look at Jack.
I'm sorry. You need to take these pictures off because you distracted me. That picture, Jack was like, can't.
No, Jack. The thing was, at that moment when I took the picture, Jack was talking to someone else.
So it's him talking and trying to hold the camera.
Yeah. So if you notice, he's talking to someone because he's signing something to someone, like a book or anything.
And you just slid in and was like,
I was just trying to be a fan, you know. I was like, hey, man, let me catch you on the
greatest. I almost want to cut it out in Photoshop.
I love candid ones, man. Oh, I love it. So yeah, for my. So the details, I really don't go crazy with details, but I do experiment. Some of my sketches, I go nuts with details.
Right. So I'm wondering, I haven't seen it yet in the models, but I know you're going for the vinyl look. But at the same time, the little greebles that you put all in your technical drawings and stuff like that it would show like nuts and bolts or wear and tear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to explore that. Or have you looked into exploring like 3D sculpting and stuff like that in terms of ZBrush or whatever to add detail, because we know you can do hard surface stuff now.
Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to push right now, Charlie. Is the hard detail of more into the texture part of it. So, yeah, like
this one here. Like this one here is really like all your drawings are really really cool.
It's just a circle, dude. Basically.
Yeah.
just a circle.
Yeah. How dare you?
Actually,
it's more than that.
It's such a weird thing because I drew this as a joke, because I was talking to someone. I said, hey, have you drawn a potato in perspective before? I was like, what do you mean draw a potato in perspective? Try to draw a potato in perspective. And this guy was drawing a potato in perspective. I was like, I can never get a right angle for potatoes. Like, that's the whole point. You can never get a right angle for a potato. And that's the whole point about this. Right. So I was telling us, all right, here's how you draw it. So I drew a circle. It's like, it's not even a circle. No, it's not a circle, but in perspective, it's a circle. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So for this, I just a little bit crazy with the details, but again, just took me about 30 minutes just to hash this out. And I told myself I'm gonna fix it in 3D. I know it's kind of off right now. I'll fix it on 3D.
I'll explore this one too. Like this one's pretty good. I like this one too, and a lot of your drawings have a lot of nice little detail in it, because they're like little technical drawings. So if you went in there and did a detailed version of this in 3D, that would look really good.
This looks super realistic.
Oh man, it took me a long time to get that going.
What?
So when you're going through your brainstorming stage, are you thinking to yourself, okay, there's a robot that's going to be used for transporting people? What would that look like? Or do you just kind of have a brain dump and you draw a circle and then you start adding rivets to it? What's your creative process like when you're creating these things?
Well, when I create things, basically I start off with a shape. Usually the shape is either a circle or any of those basic shapes. But for me, it's all about what the purpose is. Again, some of these sketches are just things that kind of like gets into my head for the day. So most of the time, it's something that either I see a construction site going, and I see those little bobcat. Forgot what those one personnel bobcat construction machines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Those
bobcat.
Are cool.
Yeah.
I think to me, those are cool because you can put anything in front of that, not just a shovel, but you could put anything in there and you can still keep the same design with that one man cockpit and those big and those little sturdy tires, you know? So I could totally see those guys, 10, 15 of them in a construction site doing different things. So that's where my mind gets going. And most of some of these parts and some of these things that the details that I get into my sketches, mostly are either shapes, tubes, hosings, hydraulics, things like that. I've already drawn so many times before. So when I do start sketching, that's where the art dump comes in. So that's where the things that I know and what I've seen start to come out. Recently, I've started to look at more references. I've really started to realize that my visual library is starting to run out. So I'm starting to draw things the same thing, same shapes, same particular mechanical parts. So I end up saying, oh, okay, this is getting monotonous, and so I'm starting to look at more stuff in Pinterest.
What did you just say?
Oh, here we go.
What's going on with the Pinterest?
Yo,
all right.
First of all,
I was waiting. Look at me grabbing the microphone because I'm all excited.
First of all, Pinterest is the shit. First of all,
talk about it. Yo, that is the
Get
best
it in your life.
Get it in your life for real. Like seriously, especially as a hard surface artist, like. Yeah, you run out, but like, I have whole sections just based off
absolutely
mechanical stuff, like real photos, like turbine engines and like and like jet engines and like big huge mining stuff. Like all you need to do is find one servo or one gear or sprocket that like will probably spark a centerpiece of one of these little robots, and you over exaggerate it and stuff like that.
And that's a cool thing about modeling
it. Yeah,
that's a cool thing about Pinterest is that you get one and it gives you a plethora of things around it.
It's so good. Yes.
Speak on it.
Talk about it. It's great. I preach Pinterest all the time.
But there is a dark side of Pinterest, man. So I've seen people get lost for 72 hours just looking at Pinterest.
Oh, hell to the no.
Oh man, no. Let's slow down. Yeah.
You might have to go to Pinterest Anonymous.
I might get lost. The next thing you know, I'm looking at barbecue for a little bit, but like I still bring it back. 72 hours. I think they're looking at some stuff. They're not supposed to.
Willpower, man. Willpower.
Yeah. But no, Pinterest is really great, especially for that as a hard surface artist. I would implore you to go to my Pinterest page and start to pin a couple of things and
look at this dude shameless
your thing, you know,
definitely
shameless.
Charlie BW3, you know, get in there and like,
all right, we're gonna cut you out of the end there.
as an artist there, like there's a lot of great stuff there, you know, it's gonna get you through your day, you know. So, but no, it's good. I'm glad you did that, man, because I feel like robots. We've had like people like Steve Tukowski and DeCosco and stuff like that.
Oh,
and, some of their Pinterest pages are really good. Although DeCosta stuff is nowhere near mine, but like Steve Tukowski has pretty good stuff too over there. But like I'm always, in all joking aside, impressed at like how much extra stuff they're looking at or taking pictures while they're on their commutes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I follow a lot of different hard surface artists to do that, and it helps out a lot. You know, because like. And it also helps out. Jack pointed out that you already have a good sense of like what appears to work correctly, and a lot of artists and a lot of new artists and stuff like that don't, where they're like robots don't really make too much sense, or to the trained eye. I've seen, well-known artists like rip apart, other artists in terms of that. But like, if you can already have a good sense of aesthetic design when it comes to like robots and hard surface and stuff like that, then extending your visual library is only going to help you, get over the hump when you're trying to come up with something new. So it's really, really cool. We've had another artist come on, and I just lost his name, but he's really into space, and he was really into as a concept artist, and like he loves space and used to do aerospace and did
what was his name?
And I should know it because I worked with him for like years at this company, and I can't think of his name right now. Stanley Von Medley, and like his love of space and love of research, you could see it when he's drawing all these different concepts of like moon rovers and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. But then he can also talk about it on a technical level, and like he gets involved in his local space society and all these other different things because he has a love for that. Because like he's constantly reading papers.
Local space society.
Yeah, like I worked on a project with him.
Hold up.
Yeah, like I worked on a project with him that had a big, huge convention at the Rosemont Convention Center and the one downtown also, because it was like a big, huge space. It was like, a big, huge space society, like convention all about space and NASA. They had former NASA astronauts and engineers come out and talk to people, and then like it's like a whole big thing. People that are really into aeronautics and all that good stuff, and pushing the notion of like keeping space camps alive and all that good stuff, because for some things those things get cut out of like public school education and all that good stuff. So like, it was really good.
So I wanted to see Rookie Tune was asking, lighting seems to be a huge part of nice 3D renderings. Do you use a set stage for all your models, or do you set them up each individually?
Depends on the model and depending on the way I present the models, either for games or for consumer products. The program I'm using is Keyshot. So the Keyshot Keyshot is basically a great rendering program that gives you a preset stage of lights for certain things. So to answer your question, yes, I do use a set stage for particularly either for consumer product or for other things than that. But you can definitely make your own lights, and if you know a little bit of lighting, you can definitely set your own mood and set your own studio, so to speak, inside Keyshot.
Very cool.
And Keyshot's one of those tools that like their whole focus, even though Zigs is using it in a different way, their whole focus for product rendering, product design, and technical products like that. So he's using the best program to show off his work, and just like as if it was a real object, it's all photorealistic, accurate lighting. So that's what Keyshot to market is for jewelry designers and product designers and stuff like that. So perfect that he's using that program to show off his 3D work.
Yeah, I've always been looking for some rendering program that can do exactly the same thing and something quick too. So Keyshot's one of those good, cool programs to use.
Yeah, dude, you have a ton of work out here.
It's massive.
You just keep going and going, and oh look, there's even more.
So
if you look at the very first posting, that's one of my very first attempted drawings to in perspective, because that was my first day taking perspective class, and someone told me to draw something.
Get out of here.
No, not that one. Come on. Oh no, that's the one. That's the.
This is the one that got him his big break.
This is probably the one that got you guys like, oh, who's this guy? Let's start following him. You know what I mean?
No, actually, I was following you. I was following you long before this, but when you did this, I straight up I sent the guys a message. Oh crap! Zigs Corner did the fun prompt.
Shiloh was doing.
I do remember that.
Shiloh was doing this, and the thing about Shiloh is like, oh shit, he's doing something robot. No, he can't fade. I can't. He can't just do robots without me. So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something for the
He can't do robots without me. Nice.
Do robots without me, man. That's not cool.
That's not cool, bro.
That's not cool, man. But because of that, that got me going to your prompts, and I was like,
that's awesome.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I was stalking you long before this happened.
Oh man.
Yeah. Charles stalked for years.
Yeah. That's I stalk some people, and this show is basically my therapy.
That first contact that
It's my therapy.
All right, let me ask you guys a quick question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Just who among you guys started this sketchbook? I mean, whose idea was this? I mean, whose actual baby was to say, hey, let's do this, and everybody just got on board? Was it Jack, or was it Carlos, or was it Charlie?
It was me.
It was you. You're the mastermind now.
Yeah.
Right on.
Really, it's just my excuse to talk to my friends every week. I'm lonely.
You're not
like Jack and Charlie are we've been friends since forever, and every time we talked, we always have super informational, just super helpful conversations, and it's about creativity and tools to get that creativity and everything. And I was like, yeah, that'd be, I was thinking we can totally do a show, but then I always wanted to give up and coming artists the opportunity to come and talk about whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Very cool.
And so it's been 3 years, and this is what it looks like now.
Nice. 3 years, man. Well done.
Yeah.
So, it was a little rough in the beginning. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We jumped in. We didn't check the water. We didn't do nothing. We were like, I got a microphone. Let's go.
I have to check out the very first episode. Now that I'm very curious.
Whoa.
Whoa. Hang on.
Calm down.
Let's take it down.
Bear guys, you guys have Bear take it down because I got to check that out.
In fact, if you want to watch the first episode, you got to donate to our Patreon.
Yo, Jack puts everything behind a paywall tonight.
Tonight is that's how we're gonna do it.
You're gonna learn today.
That's right.
That's great.
Where's it? We need to get the soundbite where he goes, the way my bank account is. I use that all the time. Not many people even know what the hell I'm talking about.
So I
know what you're talking about. See, the way my bank account works, comes in on a Sunday. I can't get it till Friday.
Go ahead, Jack.
So we touched on this a little bit earlier, talking about toy market and stuff like that. But long term, like what? I mean, I'm just looking at some of these bots and these designs. Like my brain goes crazy, and I can think of a whole bunch of things to turn these into. But like, what's kind of your goal? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you clearly have a lot of fun designing these things, and it's good. But what would you want to like put them to work to do? Like, what could you see these as? Obviously, toys would be a great thing.
Well, I mean, everybody would love to see these guys alive. So I would love to see these guys maybe in their own little AR world or VR world.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to delve into the AR VR technology. And if I can get these guys moving or at least feel like they're alive, I guess that's a long-term goal for me, whether it's animation or some sort of TV show or just the fact that they can come alive and say, hey, you know what, they're actually interacting. To me, that's a huge accomplishment. And yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where, I'd love to see these guys come alive in a few years. Well,
Hey,
not literally alive, but
send that cute little red one over my way, and I will.
Oh
See what we
shoot!
do.
Absolutely, dude.
See how we do. Sketch
I'll,
zones.
I'll, make,
red one's
I'll make a
cool.
move.
I'm telling you, right, Jack? I told you the red one's cool. I like the red one.
I like the little red one.
Red
Yeah.
one's good.
You like the red one with the big eyes, the big one?
Yeah, I like the big glass eye.
That's the last rendition from the other one. So that's one of the last revisions for that little guy.
You talking about this one?
Yeah, that one.
That one, and then there was another one that
There's
also
another one.
that had an arm, but also a big glass eye.
That was a different one.
But I do like that one a lot. There you go. With the little funny arm, because it's like carrying tools and stuff. That always cracks me up when you get these like high tech things, and then like it's got some. It's like using a primitive object. You know?
Yes, T-Rex arms. I wanted to give him T-Rex arms.
Yeah, that guy. I love that guy with the little T-Rex arms.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Thank you.
What was that?
What was that? Like, how would you make that one walk though? Is that like weird?
Oh, well, I'm gonna make it work.
I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna do what it do.
Gonna make it work.
No, we'll make it work.
Yo, so we only had an animation director around.
You only had
Oh, look at that.
You only had an animator. Animators.
No, I would love to, because I did Transformers, but actually robots are like, I don't get a lot of them.
Yeah.
They, aside from the big, the big films that are obsessed with robots.
Well, check this out. Once I get these guys printed, all three of you guys will get a copy for sure.
Thank you.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah. You better watch your mouth.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Let's do this.
Absolutely.
If you actually work through, because I tell artists all the time, hardest thing is following through. If you actually send Jack that animation, Jack, the model itself, and Jack, if you animate it, if you send it my way, I'll put it in an AR for you.
Oh, what?
It's getting real.
So we do it.
Right.
I'll do that. We'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do the whole video on it.
And then when he's done,
and then when he's done, you send it to me, and I'll just look at it.
What we can do, we can figure out. We'll figure out.
Talk.
I'll
tell some corny jokes while it moves around.
Yeah, I'll talk to people at work because the biggest thing though is if you want to get into AR and VR, and this is anybody who's listening, at the end of the day, it's just real time game development type stuff. So learn a game engine, So if you have animation skills, if you have modeling skills, just like our friend here, that's all you need to do to get it in there. So we'll get it in there. We'll have him. He'll be walking around on somebody's countertop. And then we'll figure out. We'll probably put it on the phone or something like that, or we'll get it in a little
goggles.
Yep, and then it'll be good to go, and it could be a cool little thing. Use AR Core, which is Android's thing, which is their answer to AR Kit, which is Apple's thing. But we'll use one of those, and we'll light it, and we'll have it running across somebody's table. It'll be great.
That's crazy. Awesome. Yeah. I will definitely do that. I'll send you guys I'll send Jack the Maya model.
Yeah. Let me mess around with it. That'd be fun.
Cool. I've already started rigging it, but definitely you can. I'll give you the unrigged one so you can mess around with the articulation. Absolutely, man.
That's cool. Yeah, because it's a really easy
collaboration.
Yeah, it's a really easy process. People forget or they think it's gonna be super hard and stuff like that. But no, you can get your friends together, everybody do their part, and you can get stuff in and see it moving.
Look at Shiloh's excited to see it. Mm-hmm. He's like, that sounds so awesome. Go, boys.
So let me rephrase that. I guess my long-term goal is different because it can happen soon. So
yeah. So what's your long-term goal? Because I already made them. We're gonna make this one happen.
That short term is already taken care of.
We got you.
My long term just became short term. So, all right, now I don't know what to do now. No, I'm just kidding.
Bam.
No, Sketch Zone podcast.
That is interesting, though.
Upstream happen.
You know what you need? You know the sound bites you need. What is it? Reading Rainbow at the end, or the little sound bite was like doom doom doom. Like it's like. It's almost like the chimes at the end. You know what I'm talking about, where it showed the I don't know if that was Reading Rainbow. Or if that was
no, that was the
network.
Now you know.
Now you
know.
Wait,
Doom,
what?
doom, doom.
Yeah,
it was the
more you know.
PSAs that
Oh,
used it.
Now you know. Yeah, that's right.
The more you know?
Man. The more you know.
The more you know. Is that what it was?
No, there's that one, but the other one from Reading Rainbow is like dun-dun-dun. It's like at the end of the reading segment, the little kids would say when they'd be like, and that's that, where they talk about a book, you know, they're like, this week I read this book, such and such and such and such, and then at the end of like there's something like tagline at the end that they say all the time, and like that's what did he used to say?
You're not thinking G.I. Joe.
No, I'm thinking
G.I. Joe, get out of here.
It's so far.
I'm gonna find it. It's, you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yo, Joe.
You two will help me out with this. Let's keep moving on. We'll come back to this.
Oh, I know. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about at the end.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
It's always awkward because it's like they grabbed random public school student. They were like, this book I read I like a lot because it did it.
Jesus.
and it was great.
Yeah, I just found some kid watching Jumanji or reading Jumanji.
Speaking of books, the book that I was referencing earlier is called The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch. Pausch.
Pausch.
Yeah, that's a really good book. I want to say he did public speaking, and he got diagnosed with cancer, and so he started realizing that basically don't sweat the small stuff. He tells a story in the book where he went to the grocery store and the girl gave him the wrong change, and it was like 25 cents. He was 25 cents short. And he's like, no, is it going to cost me more than 25 cents to go back and cuss this girl out for giving me the wrong change? That kind of thing. And like his kids would draw on the wall, and he was, I don't know, he was going to go beat him, I guess. And then he was like, no, if I could let that girl off at the 25, no, he wasn't going to beat them. He let them draw on the walls because it's not a big deal. But yeah, check it out. The Last Lecture. Beautiful book. It's along the lines of Tuesdays with Maury. If you guys remember that.
Okay.
That tearjerker, holy cow. But anyway, yeah, it's basically don't sweat the small stuff. Focus on where you want to be and be open for, because your dreams might come true. They just might not be exactly the same as what you're expecting.
Right.
So speaking of dreams coming true and all that stuff, when you were a kid, Tony, you're kind of had this creative, you're interested in creativity and making things and stuff like that. How did you break the news to your parents?
I'm still probably working on that right now. No,
you don't know?
You and me both. And I'm old.
No.
Just send them this episode. I did this thing. Mom, Dad, I did this thing yesterday. Just watch it. Tell me what you think.
Oh, well, look, your mom and dad are on the chat. They said, go to bed. You have work in the morning.
No, it's nothing too crazy. I don't think there was a moment where I had to come out and say, hey, you know what? I'm an artist. Sorry. I always wanted to say that. That was perfect timing.
Mom, I think I like art.
I like art. You stupid.
I don't know how to say it.
How long have you been feeling this way, honey?
Mom is like, yeah, well,
what can we do?
I can see that.
What can we do now?
I saw that coming.
No, I mean,
you knew.
To be honest with you guys, the parents or family, they have no idea what I actually am doing.
This is so layered. I love it.
This is great. They have
So
no idea
if you
what
ask
I
them,
do.
if you ask them and say, "Hey, did you draw today?" I was like, "Yeah, I did today."
Yo, This sounds like an after-school special.
All right.
Did you pick up that pen today? Yeah, Mom. I inked.
We have to have a talk.
That's funny.
That's funny.
No, I don't know, man. It's just to the point where, it's to the point where it's when I tell my parents that I create 3D stuff, 3D models, and for games, and maybe hopefully in the movies they will say, "Oh, that's great." Finish whatever you're doing. Job. Is it gonna pay off? Are you making money? So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I created something today, so nice. Thank you for asking about it. But they're actually very supportive about things now. They see what I do. They look at things and say, "Oh, that's what you always do now." It's like, yeah, that's basically the logos that we make, the cartoons you've seen there. That's what I do. So for me explaining them how what I do and how it works, it's like talking to someone who has no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm not sure because I'm the first in my family. I'm the first artist on that side. So everybody else is doing anything but an artist. So they have no idea and couldn't understand what I'm doing on this side. So every time I show something, it's like, "Oh, you done that? Oh, that's great." So it's one of those things where, they're very supportive in that side of the end, but being involved with what I'm doing, it's still in that gray side where, okay, as long as you're doing great, very cool. Yeah, but I got a great supportive.
Bills.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Are you coming from a very strict Asian family? That's very. It's to the point where I've gone to the hassles of their, what do you call that, expectations. Yeah. So once that's done, graduated from college and got a degree and going to the job after that, they said, "Oh, you're gonna change your career?" I said, "No, it's not a change of career. It's just that I'm pursuing something that I've always liked to do while I'm keeping my job." So when I explained to them that simply, they understood it. Say, "Oh, okay. Just still quit your job."
Yeah. They're like, "Are you moving back in or are you not moving in?" "No? Okay. Then you do you."
Because he's like, because you can't move back.
That's exactly simply how it is. I mean, I don't know how to explain it more, but I guess parents just want you to make sure that you can take care of yourself, or you're happy with what you're doing. Yeah. But growing up wasn't like that. It's like, to them, it's, you got to do what your cousin's doing, you got to do what your sister's doing, or you got to do what we used to do when we were kids. But it's totally different now. So explain to them how I would like to do things in a way. They're supportive, but they still don't understand. You see what I mean?
I just don't understand.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
I have kind of old school parents too. Well, especially my dad's side. Like I go over there and I'm saying, "Oh, yeah." People say, "Oh, you still do that computer stuff?" "Oh, yeah. Can you fix my email?" And I say, "Well, technically, yes, I can, but that's not what I do."
I say no. I say no now. No.
Yeah.
Google it.
Fix your email.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know email. I don't know how that works.
I don't really use that.
"Oh, you still do that? Oh, ooh."
I go millennium on them and say I use Instagram or something. I don't use email. They're like, what?
Yeah. Exactly. Check your Facebook messages. Don't come over here with that email stuff.
Google me.
Google me.
Your things about me. Google me.
So, how has, because I'm not gonna lie, 14,500 followers on Instagram.
I didn't buy any of those.
Between you, DaCosta, and Shiloh.
I didn't buy any of those guys.
Between you, DaCosta, and Shiloh, I'm perplexed as to how many people absolutely love you guys' work. And I'm one of those 14,500. So I understand.
Thank you.
How big is your head right now? Like,
oh, calm down.
Oh, it's about this big.
It's not too big. No.
How cool is that? How describe that feeling?
Oh man, it's very cool. Especially when you go to places like CTN or the place like where we met at the Ground Animation Expo.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I get to walk around, and the next thing is like, hey, I know you. That to me is exciting because it's not because I'm out there telling people, hey, this is what I do. I'm Zigs Corner. I'm wearing a shirt that says Zigs Corner. Say hi to me. You know what I mean? I don't do that. And that is so not me. I'm such a low-key guy. My work speaks for itself. If you guys like it, that's great. And for me to see someone genuinely likes my stuff and generally follows me and generally follows and says, hey, I'm inspired by the things you do. I love what you're doing. It makes me smile when I see it. I don't know what else to say. I think, damn, that's great. I just love to do it. Because of that, because of you guys, I keep doing what I'm doing. And 14,000 plus, it's a great thing. But to me, it's surreal. But I never bought any of those guys. You know, it's one of those things like I don't know where these guys come from. I think
how long have you been on Instagram?
No. I think it all started before Instagram started changing their algorithm.
Okay.
Because when I first started off during the challenge, March of Robots challenge, when posting something in Instagram, they're always on your chronically on your feed. So if it's at 9 o'clock p.m., if someone looks at it, they'll look at it chronologically. So that helped out for the way I was posting because I was posting certain times of the day. So that, certain hacks when on Instagram kind of did help out. But when they start changing the algorithm, that's when everybody's posting start getting messed up. Now you start seeing new posts from 2 days ago. I was like, what's going on here now? So the interaction back in the day was much more better and beneficial for people like myself who started off with and kept going, kept the flow going. That's when you start to see more people coming in. I myself was surprised I have this many people.
So it was more based off of it being, for lack of a better word, more pure back in the day, because like the amount of posting that you would do would generate more people to see your stuff. Word of mouth spread, from friends. If Carlos found you, friends with Carlos, and I see that Carlos liked this other thing or whatever.
Right.
Then I go over and say, oh, I do like this guy too. So I'm gonna
follow.
Yeah. It seems like it's more pure than now it's getting more to the point where it's harder to do that type of deal, but at least you did it based on the content.
Oh, absolutely. And I was surprised. I try to keep it really, really content wise. If you notice, I keep things art related. So not a lot of personal stuff. It's in my art stuff. And and again, I really didn't think that it will go so far. I thought my sketches would just be sketches. I like every artist, like myself, when I start off, I always think, man, this is not good enough. I don't think it's good enough to be posting. This is good enough to share. Then I started to realize that people like those kind of stuff. People like sketches that are either unfinished, the process.
Right.
So for me, I embrace that curiosity for people. And then that's when I start people say, oh man, I can do exactly what you're doing. I've been doing this and I just never thought that I could take it to this level. And you did. Oh, thank you so much. Now I see what I can do and what I cannot do. And to me, that's always a cool thing because I inspire other artists to do something that they were stuck at something. And then it's like, oh, yes, keep on moving, move forward, creating new stuff. So, yeah.
So now I want to tell the story about when we met.
Oh, crap. I like it. I like it.
So Jack and I are at the booth, Ground Zero Animation Expo. And this guy walks up and it's like, oh my God, it's Sketch Zone. I didn't know you guys were going to be here. I'm like, yeah, what's up, dude? He's like, yeah, my name is Tony and all this other stuff. I was like, what's up, Tony? So we're having a good time, and we're legit talking for a while. And then
we were.
Tony goes, yeah, I found out about you guys because of Shiloh. And I was like, yeah, I love Shiloh. He's the best, blah, blah, blah. And so we're geeking out on Shiloh. And I was like, you know what? Let's give him a hard time. So I take out my phone and I start doing a story.
Right.
I did the selfie thing. And I was like, Shiloh, what's going on? I got Tony here. And Tony goes,
Zigs
yeah,
corner.
baby, Zigs corner. And I lost my shit.
Is that video somewhere? You guys are doing videos?
But that's just it. Like, Jack started laughing. I turned around to geek out with Zigs corner because he said, my name is Tony. I was like, all right, cool. I didn't know what the hell Zigs corner looked like.
As you can tell, I never use Zigs corner to meet people, you know. So it's one of those things where it's like, all right, hey, dude.
That's awesome.
So I had my phone out like this. And went, hey, Shiloh, la la la. And I don't know what I did, but I lost my phone. I catch my phone, and as all of this is happening,
you actually did.
Instagram crashes.
Of all
and
the
I was
time.
like, well, that just happened. Let me geek out with my new bud Tony. And we sat there talking for a long time. It was cool.
I told him, like, hey, I'll come back and walk around real quick, and then a few minutes later I'm back because that was it. That was like the only thing that's in the home place.
But what was cool was, and I talk about this all the time, is or we talk about this all the time, where you don't, like, this community, for as big as it is and worldwide as it is, it's still a small community.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
So be cool, because if I would have been like, Zig's corner, all he ever does is draw robots on napkins. I hate him. He's like, and Tony's like, yeah, I know, right? Zig's corner, blah, 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 right? So
I don't know why the hell you would have done that, but
yeah.
But yeah.
With that voice, so
yeah, with that specific voice.
Very evil voice. No, you're right. You're right. It's such a small world, our industry. I've realized that everybody knows each other. So yeah, attitude really is it takes a long way, you know. One person will know each other, and then next thing you know, have no idea that they know each other, and that's it. That's basically where your reputation starts to follow you. And for me,
and then fast forward to the part where Tony and I are at the front door of Shiloh's house, and he's like, who the hell are these guys? And we're, you know,
what's so
just comes out and tries to be like,
oh boy,
the natural conversation, like it's not, but I see it, I hear it, Carlos.
I'm just warning the people.
He's just trying to like make it casual conversation.
And that's how Carlos ended up in prison.
What was that one?
That's the Reading Rainbow one. Yes. Yo,
did we just unlock a level?
Did you already have it?
It wasn't the secret sound, but it was a hidden one.
We're getting closer to the sound boss.
How did you sit there and let me talk about this, knowing you had this sound already? You're a masterful man. Yes.
Look at Shiloh said, wait, what?
Yeah, dude, watch out.
Hey, we already bought our tickets. We're on our way, man.
You think Carlos is joking?
Yeah,
hey, I'm gonna have a stick with a bag at the end, but it's gonna be all cables and stuff because it's gonna be me, my Cintiq, the stick with the bag on the end.
So stalker level, like, yo, let's draw together.
I'm gonna have Tony. Tony's gonna have one of those. Tony's gonna have one of those stuffed animal backpacks that I have a leash, and we're gonna walk up.
See, the thing is you guys don't know what he looks like. I think he planned this.
That is still a mystery to us, right?
Yeah. Shiloh's gonna send me his address, but it's actually Dave Atsy's address.
You're gonna show up with your bag of wires.
Hi, Dave.
He says "eek." That means
Eek.
don't come
It's
by.
getting uncomfortable now.
Please don't come
Getting
by.
uncomfortable now.
Oh my god. That's
He wasn't like, sure, come on
It's
over.
gonna be like
Yo, what was that?
oh, that's so good.
That's your little closet people.
Yeah. I can't help but look over my shoulder every time, even though I can see behind me. That'd be like too much like The Ring.
Shall we?
Yes.
Yep.
Here they come. Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come. This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that.
Hello, Tony Borden.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
This or that.
This or that?
While you're creating your artwork,
Yes, sir.
would you rather draw on a napkin or a paper towel?
I think napkin will be much better. It gives me the right dimension. The paper towel gives me like a little bit bigger canvas. So let's.
That guy's explaining it too.
It's legit. Go through his feed. You'll see what I'm talking about. He's got some masterful robots on a damn napkin.
Hey, but I get free food though. At least a free side dish. Because when I go to places and I sketch for these guys, it's like the waiter were like, "Oh, hey, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you were an artist."
I didn't know you were an artist.
Oh my gosh!
I got one, but it's a this, that, or these.
Ooh.
Three options.
Look at him.
Nuts and bolts, hinges, or hydraulics.
Oh,
It's a good one.
Hydraulics.
That's
Like that. Okay.
Pencil or pixels?
Pixels.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a 3D guy.
You know what's funny? We had Rodgon the artist on the show. He's been on the show a few times.
Like
Who's that?
Who dat?
Rodgon?
Rodgon. He's the guy with the glasses, correct?
You know who he is. Joking.
Rodgon is
was
a little bit of a kind of an amazing dude. But
Yeah.
he was talking about how he'll just draw something on a piece of paper, whether it's a sketchbook or even a napkin or something, and he'll take a picture of it and post it on Instagram and get like thousands of likes.
Yeah.
He'll do like a full-on illustration and just work his ass off and then post that. He'll get like 100 likes.
I know. Crazy, right?
I'm like, bitch, that's 100 likes. Get out of here.
That's 98 more than I get.
Yo,
I've been working my ass off for my little 25 likes.
Maybe you need to stop working your ass off and draw on a napkin.
I know. I'm gonna start drawing on napkins, paper towels.
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
and now you know.
And then toilet paper before
Good. I knew you'd.
Did you? You guys?
That's how you do the segment. And when we first start the show, you just let
man.
it happen, and he'll catch you.
Okay. I
think
this one is a little bit of a think it through, right? Sketchbook Pro or Maya?
Ooh. Sketchbook Pro.
Ooh. What? Now I know I like you.
See, the thing of
That threw me off.
Okay, yeah. All right.
was it my turn?
Yeah. You said the thing about
Oh no. The reason why I chose Sketchbook Pro because I can freely design. The Maya is kind of like slows down your design flow.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Charlie knows what I'm talking about. All 3D models know what I'm talking about when it comes to designing something. It's the computer is your friend, but it's one of those things where Maya in other 3D programs, unless you're really a god or you really knows what you're doing, it's hard for me to create new content based on 3D modeling. So I have to go back to the basics and sketch it all out.
You should try Mudbox or ZBrush.
ZBrush, ooh.
Or Blender. Blender has a nice little sculptor in there too. I throw that in there too. It's good.
Oh, I haven't tried Blender yet, but I heard a lot of cool stuff about Blender.
Yeah, it's doing good.
Blender.
Actually, it's doing really good. So,
are you guys been using Blender on your pipeline, Charlie?
No, not at my studio. We have for just a little one-off, since it's a free software. It's really nice that we can have it on the computer for little things. But yeah, we mainly use Max and Cinema 4D.
Gotcha.
For motion designs, and then I have like one seat of Maya that my owner's trying to get me to get rid of, but I hold on to it. Like $200 a month, and I'm like, no, but we need it though.
Right.
Just in case.
You can get me $200.
He's like, that's like a car payment. I was like, I don't know. I'm not.
That's like a carpet. No,
that's like it's a personal problem. I just need it. I don't have to pay for it.
Problem.
That's your department. You know, I don't. Just kidding. But no. Yeah.
All right, last one. All right, last one. Iron Giant or Iron Man?
Ooh, Iron Giant.
What about the Iron? Yes.
Iron Giant.
Good choice.
You're just trying to appeal to the classical people.
I love this dude.
I
love this dude.
Stop acting. You don't pick the Iron Giant if you can get.
I proclaim.
Stop it.
Publicly proclaim my love for Zigs Corner.
You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy.
The main problem with
I love Iron Giant, man.
Player one.
Hell yeah, dude.
She pulls out Iron Giant, which is cool.
Easy.
It's cool.
Best player one.
But you better pull out a Mark 1. You probably would have had a little bit easier time breaking through that one.
The Mark 1 reminds me of that old show called Big Guy and Rusty. I'm not sure if you guys remember that.
Oh,
Big Guy and Rusty.
Big Guy and Rusty.
It's an old.
It's like a 90s film.
It's a cartoon TV show. Fox. They have it on like 1990s or
it is 90s.
Early 2000s.
Like 90s.
90s.
I think maybe if I see it, maybe.
So it's Big Guy and Rusty. The Big Guy reminds me of the Mark 1 suit for Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
just a shade.
I just say the Mark 2. I do remember this show. If you guys search it, you'll remember it. Because it's like the Rusty had like the red hair. Yeah, it's kind of very. Who would win between Big like that and like Iron Giant? Because that'd be a good fight. Seems like it's a fair fight there.
Not sure.
I go Iron Giant. Iron Giant knows MMA.
Knows MMA.
Iron Giant will choke a bitch.
He knows MMA. Great. Put him in. Make him tap.
That's it. He's got one of those helicopter punches. Spins his body around like this.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Just winds up, gets it going. That going. It's the hip action going. That's like when action figures.
Game over, kid.
What they used to call that, like when on the commercial.
Zangief.
Action figures. Zangief was one, but what is like?
Oh, I don't know.
Multi hip action. You know. Where it's like the swivel. It's like Snake Eyes or somebody doing a helicopter kick.
All right. So now that we're done with all that shenanigans,
Okay.
I'm going.
all right,
Go.
we are literally going to the streets
Huge art.
for my artist inspiration.
Wait a minute.
Let me go ahead and toss
Didn't you
this.
do this one already?
I did not, sir. Nice try.
You know this guy?
I do not, sir. Nice try. All right. First, I'm going to show you guys this. Right. And then we're going to go here. And then we're going to play. There's lovely music to it. I'm the only one who can hear it. But I want you guys to see.
Is he?
Chase.
Is that mounted? Is that really? That's not really on the wall.
That's spray painted, right?
No.
Baby.
No. Wait.
Yeah,
is that on the wall or is that like?
No, he's painting.
Wait for it. Oh. That is paint. That's not a balloon. That is flat. That's not 3D. Oh.
That's insane.
It's like blurring the background just right. It creates depth of field. Like,
Now wait, because there's a part here. Watch. This is the part. Watch this. This is gonna blow your mind.
I thought the car was part of it.
The wall.
okay, cool.
Oh.
That's really good. That's
Wow. Huge art.
It's the best decision we've ever made.
Are you serious? This dude be painting these little metallic balloons like he doesn't have
like, was he-
anything.
Wait,
done to do.
hang on, wait. Go back to that one. No, the one you were just on.
Was he sitting at a birthday party?
The huge one, the huge with the
Okay,
colors.
no.
Zoom in on the G. Look at, he's got reflections of like people in there, of himself in there or something.
Yeah, I can't. Like Instagram is running low.
It's really good colors too. That are vibrant. Like I would have one of these in my house.
Hell yeah. I'd have one of these in your house too.
It's like really, it's like really good. Like I like it. Like
Yeah, dude. I
the
saw
one in the
this.
office building was really cool though, because it looked like it was like mounted on extra pieces of like plywood.
Right?
But it wasn't.
Let's see. Oh no, that's not a video. That's there was a video here. Watch this. This one he's not going to show anything. Just he's going to walk up these stairs. Look at that.
That's trippy.
That's
Wow.
craziness.
Flat AF.
Because look, he took into account the placement of the real light.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, how's he doing this? What is he using, Carlos? Come on, tell me. Like what color?
Spray paint.
Is it spray paint?
spray paint and probably a lot of drugs.
Yo, because he had to look at a balloon. Was like, I can fucking draw these.
Right.
I'm like,
I'm
I
trying
would
to
look at
see.
that
Oh wait,
balloon
look,
like,
there's the making of that one.
I
Where?
want to see. Like, I gotta see
The chase
or
one.
something. Yeah, go back.
That's insane, dude.
The chase one, he's got the making of the drawing and the build up.
Yeah, I want to see the book because I don't understand how you.
That's just the video.
Someone just went right there.
There's the build up
yeah,
on the
I
right.
saw.
There it is.
Here we go. This might be the one. Look at that.
Even
That's
the shadows.
so
man.
Oh no,
trippy.
that's got to be. No, that.
Man, he was
That's
painted,
crazy.
he was painting the shadows on the ground.
Wow.
I'm assuming that those aren't balloons. I'm not convinced that they
No,
are.
they're
I'm
not.
not convinced that they're not. I'm trying to find more videos. There you go. That's just crazy. I agree, Rookie Tunes. I agree.
So okay, he's working off of a reference. I wonder if he has real balloons.
Is he making these? Like somebody making all these real balloons from?
I don't know, man. That's
like
that's
Jack, how are you
trippy.
knowing how to do the correct
Here,
like,
let's see if this is the
bending of
one.
light and stuff on these different
Look at
shapes?
this
It's gonna
drone
change
footage.
every word. Every time you do different words,
Yeah.
how does he make it look correctly? Is he has to be like getting these made first and taking a picture or something?
There you go. Look.
I mean, if you do it so many
And
times,
there's a lot of music playing, so
it's just-
I can't hear you guys. But
yeah, he sees it all the time.
So
he does
for
it all
those
the
of
time.
Wow.
So for those of you not on YouTube, go to Instagram.com/hugeart, and this guy is straight up making what are these mylar? What do they call that stuff? Mylar.
yeah,
There's like aluminum mylar balloons,
Mm-hmm.
but he's painting them with spray paint, and it looks like a legit 3D
those
object.
drop shadows are.
So what I
bananas.
thought it was, guys who haven't seen this yet, is I thought he was like having other pieces of like plywood or something like that, like mounted
Yeah.
to the wall.
When you first
Still
pulled this
painting
up,
it on top, yeah.
Well, when you first pulled it up, I thought he painted the wall with some graffiti, and then he placed these balloons.
balloons.
And that was like his thing, to like graffiti stuff and then put balloons, like cute. But no, it's not balloons. It's a paint, like a spray paint.
Graffiti style is Mylar balloons.
It's crazy. They are just like popping right off the wall. That's
I don't
nuts.
understand how they.
That's crazy.
Because he has all of the light and reflection like perfect.
He's drawing like phantom lines, like
Phantom lines.
like the perspective lines that like you don't. In the finished piece, it's not obvious on how you would construct this. To me, maybe it's obviously you guys are how he's gonna get the balloons to go off in the distance like that because it's such a round shape, you know. So obviously, maybe there's like a guideline he was using, but he just,
a lot of it's in
Warp
the
tool.
shadows.
He used the warp tool.
that's
That's
the
true.
way I can think of it.
We came close earlier today.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Good job. Good pick, Carlos.
Great inspiration. Damn.
How about it? I'm about to go get arrested now. Give me my spray paints.
That's insane.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, check him out. Instagram.com/hugeart.
Huge art.
Huge art.
Or you can go to HUGEART.
Huge art.
SE. We're gonna translate because I'm
Wow.
not that good at language. So anyway, gallery. Let's see. He gets done on some lips too. Look at.
Huge.
Someone needs a large chapstick. So yeah. Huge art. Instagram.com/hugeart.
Very good.
Boom. There you go. Charlington,
Yes, sir. Are you
would
ready
you like
for
to
me?
go next?
I can go next.
Woo woo.
Go next. I sure can, and I will. Here we go. I have an artist this week that is amazing, and I'm going to pull it right now for you. Share my screen application. Here we go. Boom. This week's artist is called. His name is Oscar
Cafaro.
Cafaro. I can't do the roll like you do. You do those all R's magnificently. Concept artist, right? Designer and concept artist. I picked the 2D guy this week because only fitting this week because I knew we had a hard surface guy on that like basically
Ooh, I love this guy.
everyone who does what we do always wants a really good concept artist. Wants a really good one that's all well thought out, and all you have to do is model. And any one of these things, if you guys are looking for something to model in your spare time or to do it every day or to hone your skills, this guy is what you want working at wherever you work at or as a friend, because his work is amazing. Let's check it out. So he's done some concept art for a really popular game called Overwatch, but he's done a bunch of other stuff too. But let's get into the Overwatch stuff first. Look at this.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So much detail. I don't have to do anything but model.
And that's on a paper towel, son.
Dude, I gotta switch to paper towel now because that's amazing.
Good
Okay.
old
Son.
This is good old fashioned white paper. Moving on.
But
This-
do you see the 3D right there? The 3D.
Yeah, the
basement?
little reference, the little base.
That's it.
base
That's
reference.
all we need. That's all someone needs is to have that, and perspectives already done. All he has to put in the details and the little. Yeah, that's basically it. Wow.
Yeah,
that's
so it's
amazing.
really, really good, man. Love his work, love his style, love his design sense. You know, here's a little robot for you. There you go.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really Mark. Been fortunate to work with a lot of different concept artists, and like, there's been a couple of them that's had this level of like design and thought where like you get their piece, you're like, and they even throw in the little reference images they found for the solar panels. It's like, it's great. It's the little things with these guys, and
yes.
I talked about my good friend Stanley Van Manley earlier, but like this dude has some really cool. I'll show you another Overwatch piece once. This dude has some really cool personal work where he was just doing a lot of NASA like personal work. Like this guy makes NASA looks cool. And I'll show it to you in a second. So this is from another one of the levels and stuff.
Oh, that's
for Overwatch and stuff like that. But like it's kind of cool to see the concept art behind it and how this is the type of work that you would get if you were a modeler at like Blizzard or somewhere like this, and you got a brief to do props for an artist.
That's it.
For a level, this is what you would get. And they give you these two pieces, and they'll say, "Okay, here you go." And you still have to go the extra mile and do your own level of research and stuff like that. You know, in terms of texturing and stuff like that. But in terms of how it should look, it doesn't leave much to the imagination. You just gotta go and do your thing on it. You know, it's really, really cool. So I like if anybody out there wants to be a modeler, wants to be hard surface guy or whatever, you know, check out some of the concept artists up here. And if you always run out of things to make, there should be no reason why you should ever run out of any kind of like work if you're just looking to model and hone your skills. There's so many concept artists and stuff online now, and then sharing their stuff and showing good stuff that like hell, these are little mini art tests within just you finding it yourself, you know. Let's show you some other pieces. So he has some other cool personal work stuff on here where he's all these really cool NASA pieces that I want to find those. Where is it? I want to find you some of those. Where they go? Because like I really enjoyed some of those, and I think he has them on his website, which is I think he has a blog spot. He has a couple different places. I want to find these real quick. 1 second. Here they are. So some of them are like here, you know, where he's gotten real technical, very different style from the Blizzard stuff that I showed you before. But, you know, I love it. Even all this stuff is different. I'm always looking for different stuff if I do personal work or stuff like that. And obviously reach out to people that I'm collaborating with. I always try to find different things. I mean, I think a lot of times artists, modelers and stuff tend to not be as like creative in terms of finding cool things to make. I'm always seeing the rock pals, the Uzis and the guns and the stereotypical castles and all that good stuff. Go out and find something interesting to model. Like so it makes your portfolio interesting, you know, something different, you know. So I always try to seek out concept artists for those things like that. There's another thing where like
that's a really good tip, Charlie, because people start getting wrapped up in doing guns and even more guns.
It's annoying.
It's okay to do something different,
dude. I after 2 years in for teaching, when they finally gave me a hold of the portfolio department when I was doing teaching, and I got to be the portfolio teacher. I say all you guys' designs suck. I'm gonna give you like this is what you're modeling for your stuff. And I meticulously every single student I gave them something different. So that's when the whole obsessive Pinterest and finding stuff and taking pictures came in handy. Because I was able to like every year for all this giving each one of my students' portfolio was different from the last. No one's homework or work in class was the same. So if everyone had a different concept based on their level of modeling for class. So even if you're in modeling 1, modeling 2, any of those things, because that way I know that by the time they got to their senior level class, everyone didn't have in that same take model for modeling 1 class, right? Everybody had something different in their things. So I would go out and find concept art, find different good things. And then if there was a student that was exceptional, I'd find even harder work for them to do. So that way, like your portfolio is unique and it's own to yourself.
Right.
Do that for yourselves. If you have work that everyone else has to do in your classes and stuff like that, like if their assignment was to model a Humvee and everybody had to model that Humvee, then guess what? That Humvee doesn't ever make it into your portfolio because then you're going to be the same as the 5 other dudes next to you. Right. And as a teacher, that's really hard to do. You know, ask Carlos and stuff like that to go through and meticulously give everybody something different every year. I taught for about 6 years or so. Wow. I can honestly say that none of my students ever had the same work. You can't be like, oh, that's Charlie's modeling 2 class. He makes them do this every year. Nope. I meticulously calls me, I have to stay late and say, okay, guys, I know you guys got to stay here, but I got to get through all of you guys and give you something different. You know, they used to hate it, but then a lot of people thank me later because they're like, man, this just takes too long. Class drags on. I'm like, I don't care. You got to have stuff different. Everybody can't be the same. Everybody doesn't model the same as you know, right, Zigs? Everybody doesn't have the same level of skill. Why am I going to give you something harder and you suck?
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you something that you can do so that at least your stuff looks good so you can learn from it.
Or if you're going to take exception, then prove me wrong. Take some time.
Yeah, I would give my option. Sometimes
class.
people are like, oh, I want that. I'm like, no, you can't do that one. But hey, you can try it. Yeah. Like, look at this one. This one's awesome. This is one of my favorite ones here. But it's good, you know. I did have the one where there was like it was more of like a mech suit from NASA, but I can't remember where that one is at now. And I think it might have been on his Instagram. He's also got a YouTube, of course, because we live in a day and age. Man, I wish they had all this stuff when I was in school. Like artists was hiding stuff back in the day. This dude's just got a YouTube page. Like, yeah, let me show you my process. It's all good. It's cool. So you can go to Oscar Cafaro, his YouTube page. And
he has a YouTube. Sweet.
He has some process stuff. Look at this. And
you know how much of a badass you have to be like, this is what I do. Here's my process. You're still not going to take my job.
Right. just
try
to learn
one
something.
Or two steps.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to leave out steps. You got people like other crazy badass like concept artists. Like, I'll show you always from start to beginning. Bet you won't be able to create it, but maybe you can learn something. You know, it's a great thing about art that like everybody finally realized, which just helps all of us because you can learn stuff from it. You know,
absolutely
for sure. You know,
Oscar Cafaro, gotta keep that guy in mind.
He's a great guy.
Thank you.
I don't know him, but I keep talking like I know him now. He's a good guy. Got a great head on his shoulders.
We're friends.
You're like buddies. Oh, I wonder where that is, man. The nations are gonna miss it. He did a spacesuit for NASA, and I'm like, okay, I want to work at NASA. And I don't see it. It was like some Halo-esque type of like suit, but it wasn't Halo, you know? It felt very like grounded for what NASA was, but I don't see it on this thing. I can't remember else where I saw it. Was it Instagram? If not, oh well. But there's some more work. I keep finding more work when I search his name on Google, so that's even better. So man, I can see it here. Like, look at this. Where's that? Go to the page.
And what I've noticed about Oscar's stuff is like it's very relatable. You know, so his vehicles and all his designs are very relatable. Oh, that looks cool.
Look at this. This is badass. I haven't felt like modeling something different in a while, but this dude.
This could be it.
Probably might be.
Oh, that's there. He's getting ready for what is that? Space Force. That's
yeah. I don't even care anymore. I'm all on board now because if they look like this,
right? Shoot.
Look at all this is great. Look at this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I love to look at the little cutaways.
Yeah, those are cool.
So this stuff is from Game Art, right? So if you guys ever see this, like when you make levels, you have to make them in modular. So basically it's Lego pieces, right? So the floor piece is one piece that you would model, right? The center piece is one piece you would model, and then the square piece here would be one piece you would model, and then you would also model yourself a joint, a corner, a joint piece here. So technically, to make this hallway and level, you got 5 things you need to model. So that means you should be able to knock that out in like a day or so. So by the end of the day, you start putting this stuff together. You can give the designer in the design department like your level pieces, and they can make the gray box for the level in a couple weeks. And within the first couple of days, you can already have corridors and stuff like that, and start to get a feel of the level and how it levels out. And that's how you model faster. You can't just go in here and start modeling this bevel here in the corner and 2 hours later you'll have half a piece done. Nah, by that time, dude, you should have like 5 pieces done. You should kick them out to the designer, and they should be able to make half of the levels, all the corridors. So
that's cool.
Learning to model efficiently, and modular design is the big thing to do. in anything. So it helps, especially for sci-fi stuff. All this stuff here, this is just
Modular.
a section. You know, break it down into 6 pieces. Now you only got to model 6 pieces. This stuff here. See, this is what I was talking about, like where it reminds me.
That's pretty. That's sexy.
That reminds me of like some of the stuff you have.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you threw all the detail that you have in your drawings.
See, the reason why this really works and what I'm doing is because.
Wait for it.
And then you have this circle. It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like this is what I was talking about with like all the extra details, like the soccer ball.
Yeah.
But it's cool. This engine stuff is cool. And I'm guaranteeing you he has a really good, you know, reference of Pinterest and stuff in terms of like how engines look. So when you draw a simplified version of it, you're taking some of those little design cues from the industrial designers that are like smarty pants.
Yep.
Your stuff look even better, man. These little solar panel things that's like driving energy so that like this thing can fly through space and still keep recharging its battery from powering itself from the sun or a star.
That's awesome, man. That's
great.
Awesome.
And then like also it like creates stories, right? Like all that's the story I thought up in my head just from looking up his work. Like, oh, this is how you can move through space and keep his batteries recharged, and like it's basically like a homing beacon or whatever, you know. I don't know, sending back information to the mothership.
Nice.
Or whatever. It's cool. Oscar, what's the last name?
Carpus.
Cafaro. C-A-F-A-R-O. And then I turned
Got it.
Jack. Thanks, guys. It was great. I love this guy.
Good job.
Excellent.
I love it.
Thank you, Charles.
Sorry, I was a little winded. I apologize. I like this guy.
Jack.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very cool.
Would you like to show someone?
All right. So also in honor of the robot lovers and sculptors.
Nice.
Instagram.com/chocolate soup.
I actually don't love steampunk. It's so overdone. But
wow.
This guy, okay, Stefan Helou.
Hello.
I'll drop it in there. But he actually does, these are physical models, and I don't know if he kit bashes literally and just takes old pieces of engines and wheels and stuff. But you can see there's like a colander in here. This clearly is like an actual piece of an engine, and he's like got refurb tires. There's like some weird little like handles. So he's definitely like pulling from all sorts of stuff. But then he makes these funny little characters. There's some cool knobs. I don't know where he gets all this
Jack,
stuff.
how are you finding these guys?
He sits up all night.
Jack finds the different stuff.
But his character work is really
internet this week.
His character work is really cool and weird, and he like sews in the zippers and like little leather coats.
Oh, so he physically makes these little models.
Oh yeah. These are real things. He's got like these like little vintage plate brasses and stuff that he puts on there.
I feel like this would be good if he animated.
A little battery pack, old vintage fat battery pack.
Yeah. This would be like cool stop motion, like Caroline or something like that. This would be kind of cool. Yeah.
He did these like fully functioning folding wings.
That's the crazy part about it. Like they fold. Like
oh, look at the mechanics. He's got little nuts and bolts and wires.
How do you figure that out? Yeah.
I love his little vehicles, man. They're just so good. Whoops. Okay. This dude in the wheelchair. I don't know what's going on, but
it's really detailed.
Yeah, I mean the close-ups you can see he's like hand stitching some of the clothes and stuff, but then like I don't know where like what is this, like an old piece of a vacuum cleaner? I don't even know what these are. And here you go, an air compressor.
It's so small. How big are these things? I wonder.
They're actually quite large. Here he is with some of them.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay, cool.
Because it's like actual pieces of engines and motors and stuff. But you said stop motion. He has a little short called Mr. Hublot.
Oh my god!
So check it out.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure where you can view it. You can Google it. I've seen clips of it. I don't think you can get the whole thing.
What if it's on
but
video?
Mr. Hublot, and it's a little. I actually think it's 3D. I don't think it's stop motion. Bummer. But it's still pretty cool. The little bits I saw.
That's really
Excuse me.
Bless you.
that's cool.
Yeah, check it out. It's really weird and kind of fun, and the fact that it's real models,
Mm-hmm.
it's just always. Extra.
And they're big. They're not like
Yeah, they're pretty big.
yeah.
But you can see the the scratching, the carving marks. He's definitely in there. So he's I'll drop it in there. StefanHelou.com.
Hello.
Hey, my new best friend Tony.
What's up, guys?
Do you have anyone that you would like to show off?
Yes, I do. Let's this guy I always follow at in Instagram, and he keeps the interesting going. Let me see if I can share it.
Shiloh illustration. Perfect.
Let's see. So, see if I can get going. So this guy named Braden Barrett. I'm not sure if I can. Can you see him? No, I can't see him. Can I see him?
No,
I see Jack.
You were good. Go back to
This one?
there. You go. Yeah.
All right. So this guy, Braden Barrett, one of the guys that I follow ever since I started this Instagram phase. Shenanigans, right? And ever since I started doing sketch work, I've always been following this gentleman right here, Braden Barrett. Love his work. Let me see if I can get some cool stuff here. Not sure if you guys do you follow him, Carlos?
I'm actually looking. I don't think that I do, and that's a travesty.
one of the craziest artists that I've seen so far, and look at this one. Look at this Mamma Jamma.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, nice.
That's a great shape. I've seen a lot of styles coming out like this from other people, but it's this is one of the things that I liked about Braden. Yeah, it's really cool. Who's this one right here?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm actually trying to find him.
So not just ships. He actually did a challenge as well. This is art. What is this art station challenge? Underneath the waves or something. It would just happen like several months ago, and he did a great job on his versions of submarines. And
there you are.
Look at that. That's pretty cool.
You know, you're a badass when a guy with 14,500 followers is following you.
No way. This guy has 66. Come on.
He's got 66.2.
Doable.
Charlie's like, yeah.
You try that out.
So
oh boy.
So this guy is really good. I've been trying to emulate his style and try to get what he's trying to make when he's creating his vehicles. This is cool. I
love that stuff.
This who would think to flatten the tires? You know, look at those. That's awesome. That's pure genius.
Not going anywhere. Yeah.
Not going anywhere. So, a lot of
I'm officially following him.
Yeah. So aside from that, he does a lot of also environments.
There you go, Charlie.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
I like it. The detail.
That's bananas.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's really good. That one's cool. I like that one. That's different.
This one?
Yeah, I would make that one. That was cool. I like that one. It looks different.
It looks like
Like the great's not perfect. It's kind of like chunky and offset. So the great circles in between or the negative space in between. It's like not really perfect. Yeah, dog agrees with me too.
nice.
Yeah, he does a lot of detail in this. He's doing black and white stuff too, Jack, but it seems like it's got a little bit of a color tone to it. So I don't know if that's just the paper, but like it's really cool.
I like the way the style is like the cross hatching. These are the things that I'm trying to learn as I kept on sketching. You know, it's one of those cool things. These guys, if I get stuck in a design rut, Braden is one of the fellows that I peruse through his collection, and hopefully I get inspired. Maybe I'll go to Pinterest right after. So
You don't have to remind Charlie.
also, I spoke to Braden before a long time ago, and he said something about the way he creates the shapes. He got it from from Scott Robertson, one of the good guys as well to start thinking, creating things in perspective.
Very cool. I like how he's well-rounded.
Yes.
A lot of different stuff.
He's
right?
got airplanes. He's got people. He's got animals. He's got environments.
Yeah.
He's got make-believe equipment. He's got real equipment.
That goes back to like being versatile in your portfolio.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't have to have all the same thing. And you also hear the notion of like, you know, catering your portfolio to places you want to work, but also at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, if you just have good sound, if you want to be a modeler, if we're talking about modeling and stuff a lot tonight, if you have good sound subject matter and they're all different, not a lot, 3 different pieces that are very different, you know, perfect, you know, they get you the art test or get you whatever the
right.
walk in and talk, you know.
Look at this. This is one of my favorite ones.
Well, that's cool. That's very different. Wow.
He's got this critter. Looks like a big fat frog. That guy. Look at that.
That's what I'm talking about. I'd model that. That's really cool. I wouldn't model a normal frog, but that frog right there.
That's like something that's going to come get you in Legend of Zelda.
Right? I would model that. That would even look cool if you did like a idle state for it. It just breathing.
I like it. I like it. Reminds me of Creature Box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Oh yeah, he did draw. I was wondering. Go back.
Which one?
With the mouth open, or is that a different?
This one.
Oh, it's a different one, or is that post? Yeah, it's a different thing.
Even still, that's a badass mouth open.
Yeah.
That was my next thing. Was like, what does this thing look like with his mouth open? But probably something like that.
Probably a lot like that.
Same dynamic, same construction. Yeah. So this guy is one of my inspiration when it comes to the Instagram. Oh, this is cool.
I like the kind of mech buildings.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that one too.
This
Rookie
one?
Tune.
Look at the different colors and the shading now.
Which one? This one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rookie Tune says, that's really neat. The detail reminds me of his hero, Lorenzo Etherington.
Yeah.
Oh, the Etherington brothers. Those guys are awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's cool.
That one's cool.
Did we? I think maybe Jack brought up the Etherington brothers before.
Sounds very familiar.
May have. I don't know if I did it as an inspiration. But.
Oh, yeah. I think maybe you did because I'm following them.
How often do you guys do sketching on the spot, like this guy right here is doing? How often do you guys do that?
Not never.
Not never.
I don't do it, but yeah, it's
I mean, I like if I'm out somewhere and I'm waiting.
You just pick up a pen and paper and just like start sketching.
Yeah.
Right on.
I have one of those super cool sketch wallets.
Nice.
Yeah, that stuff is cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna stalk him now.
So that's basically it. I mean, this guy is one of the guys that you definitely have to follow, Carlos.
Yeah, I'm following him now. Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah, dude, stuff is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, and I always say this on the show. Even if I'm in a somewhat of a creative rut, I'll pull up things, like this and try to recreate it, try to figure out what brushes they used.
Yeah.
Just to there's a lot of anxiety that comes with wanting to draw something but not having anything to draw.
Look at that, Charlie.
And so it's stuff like that
Great
gets
perspective.
you out of the creative that gets you out of the creative flow. Whereas if you just pull up someone that you admire and you draw some of their work,
right,
you go.
I don't know how
that turns into some stuff.
I don't know how you drew this one.
That's
I
like
I can see the grid, but like oh my gosh, get it right. Awesome.
When I saw this, I asked myself, how many ships did he look at for so long? I mean, it's amazing how he gets every single ship a different look. Not every ship is the same.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. It's like a whole docking bay of ships.
Yeah. This is a very Ian McKee style, or McQuee? Ian McQuee, whatever his name is.
Wi-Fi on board.
I love these. Mind you, this was a tractor engine he started off with, and then he just made it into.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is a tractor engine. He got the shape from a tractor engine, and then he took it to a different level.
That's crazy.
Yeah. This one. Yeah, very cool. So yeah, this guy is one of my favorite guys to look at.
So if you're listening on iTunes and you're looking for Braden Barrett, it's _BR_BA, Instagram.com/_BR_BA. Cool. Dude is amazing.
He's insane. All right, cool. Very cool.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So, Tony, if people are looking for you and your artwork and stuff online, where can they find it?
You can look for my Instagram at Zigs Corner. That's ZIGS_CORNER. That's Zigs Corner. You can check it out. Follow me.
Where did that name come from?
Well, it's a two word. So basically, it's supposed to be Zigs Art Corner. So it's Ziggy's Corner. So it's with an apostrophe. Yeah. So it got stuck when I first started doing the Instagram. Always wanted to change it, but
Instagram.
Yeah, since so many people know me as Zigs Corner, I just end up leaving it as is. So,
It
good
happens.
question. Good question.
I was like, Tony? No, it's not Zig.
So I just left it as it is because almost everybody knows the sketches like that. So
Yeah, he doesn't like using this government. Come on.
no, man, no way.
You know what? Now that you say that, Charlie, what's funny is, you know how I do. I'm on the team for Midway Documentary,
Yeah.
and all these DJs and rappers and stuff. They have all these aliases that they go by.
Mhm.
So Facebook is forcing people to use their government name.
What?
So there's a lot of people that don't know all these DJs by name.
Oh man.
I was friends with DJ Risky Business for years. And I was talking to Ryan. He goes, yeah. So then Chad came over. I was like, who's Chad?
You say, I know who Risky is. Yeah.
The Risky
I was like,
Business.
oh, Risky. I was like, don't be confusing me. Hey Charlie,
What's up?
where can people find you online?
You can find some of my work at my website, cargocollective.com/Charlie B. Williams. You can find me on Instagram, instagram.com/CharlieBW3. You can find more inspiration like we were talking about tonight at that almighty Pinterest page, pinterest.com/CharlieBW3. Get it in your life. Get it in your life.
Get it in your life. How about you, Jack Casper Jack?
You can find me at sketchbookjack.com and sketchbookjack Twitter and not Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest.
Groovy. And hey, if you're looking for me online, you can find me at Coconut Justice pretty much everywhere. And you know what? Now that I'm flipping through this stuff, I've been doing a lot more work on Twitch too. So come and hang out on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Coconut Justice. And before I forget, Jack and I are going to be working on, if you guys remember, we're going to be working on the book that we started last year.
Yes.
With the process projects. We're going to be...
It's resurrecting, yes.
Reviving.
Yeah, we're bringing it back like the wonderful phoenix that it is.
From the ashes of
being busy and trying to find
ice.
So yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And it's to the point where we're going to finish the same book and everything. So I'm going to be working on that on Twitch too, and then we're going to be doing some editing and stuff. So it's going to end up being super, super cool. So the processprojects.net, if you want to go and see what we already have, I'm going to start working on next steps here in probably tomorrow or later today because it's midnight here. Mm-hmm. So this is Sketch Zone. You can find us at sketch.zone. And we're just go there. You'll see we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. And if you're on Instagram, remember this week we are drawing an obese imp in Charles Schulz style.
I can't wait to see some versions of it, man.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But then if you're posting, you see what we do. We in the beginning of the show we go through and we showcase what everyone has done. This one should be somewhat of an easy one, but tag us on Instagram. Go through the process of there's a little button there that says tag people. Go ahead and tag us. It makes it easier for us to share your work. And then next week we're going to take a look at everyone's artwork. So if you're watching on Twitch, go ahead and subscribe, or what is it?
Follow
us. Follow us. If you're on YouTube, watching us on YouTube, there's a button down under this video that says subscribe. Click that, and then click the little bell that's right next to it too. So every time we go live, something happens, you're alerted, and you can come hang out. hang out with us live, just like Rookie Tunes, Dave Atsy, Shiloh Illustration, Pat Mast, Rookie Tunes. I said them. Yeah, that looks like Dustin Pike.
Right.
Dustin Pike. Don't want to forget him. Rookie Tune said word. Yes. Word. The word is subscribe. So we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. And if you're not able to watch live, go ahead and catch us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and of course on iTunes. I believe that's it for us.
Great setup.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for being cool, man. For real.
Oh, dude,
it means a lot.
I enjoyed it. I thought I was gonna be a little bit nervous about it, but you guys made the whole entire thing really cool. So
I'm glad we didn't scare you off. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, guys. Charlie,
guys.
thanks so much. Jack.
No problem.
Thank you.
Don't hang up yet. Don't hang up yet.